afternoon in suburban Buffalo for a key AFC Eastern Division battle between the Indianapolis Colts and the Buffalo Bills. The Colts are the lone remaining unbeaten NFL team. They lead the division at 4-0. Buffalo 3-1, a game behind in Miami in a tough battle with the Seahawks. They're in danger of falling 2 games behind in Miami. So a key game here today. Tom Hammond and Bob Trumpy with you. Both teams coming off their bye weeks. That wasn't long enough to get Jim Kelly healthy. So Todd Collins gets his second start for the Bills.
And you know what? How it helps Todd Collins is on Marv Levy's football team. The starting quarterback takes 90% of the snaps for the first team. Well, since Kelly got hurt, couldn't play this week, Collins has got the entire week. He's got 3 very important things to do. Watch the blitz. Every team blitzes a young quarterback. Avoid the negative plays, the turnovers, the dumb mistakes. And he's right about scoring points. Buffalo's offense has not put many points on the board.
Well, the Colts get Marshall Faulk back, but all the focus is on another former Wolverine quarterback, Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I think Lindy Infante's offense can function without Marshall Faulk. It cannot function without a good, producing, and functioning Jim Harbaugh. And he's got a very important list. Stay patient. The big plays when they're there, take them. Don't try to make something out of nothing. And, of course, the Colts all day must avoid the 3rd and long situation to stay away from the big Buffalo Bills pass rush.
Well, considering what's happening down in Miami, the Indianapolis Colts could conceivably open up a 2-game lead in the AFC East by beating Buffalo, and if Miami loses to Seattle.
And look, this Indianapolis team has won at home, one on the road, one with injuries. Can they win here today?
We'll be back with the kickoff, but first let's go to Dan Hicks in New York for our NFL on NBC studios.
And hi, everybody. Dan Hicks sitting in for Greg Gumbel, who's a little under the weather. Let's get you caught up on the scores of the early games, and let's get right to that game in Miami. The huge play just a couple of moments ago. With 2 minutes remaining, John Freeze in for Rick Meyer, finding Brian Blades on an 80-yard touchdown scoring pass. Blades goes the distance, and that has put Seattle up 22-15 with just about 1:15 left. In fact, there's just under a minute left, and that it would be a huge upset as the Seahawks are 1-4 and the Dolphins at home in the rain are 3-1. Elsewhere in the NFC Central, Minnesota beating Carolina 14-12. That game in the 4th quarter. And Green Bay all over the Chicago Bears today. It was Brett Favre, 4 touchdown passes. He has 20 on the season. That leads the NFL as Green Bay beat Chicago for the 5th straight time, 37-6. New England playing Baltimore in a high-scoring affair. It is 4 touchdown passes from Drew Bledsoe, which have staked the Patriots to a 46-22 lead in the 4th quarter. The Jets losing to Oakland. They're going to go to 0-6. Hostetler has 3 touchdown passes. Neil O'Donnell out 4 to 6 weeks with a separated shoulder. More bad news for the Jets. And the Falcons have come back from a 28-0 deficit to Detroit, and they have closed it to within 4, 28-24. We'll send you to the kickoffs in Buffalo and Denver right after these messages.
Here, Doris. Got a meeting in Davenport. Be back tomorrow.
Buffalo, this is the kind of weather they had in mind when they invented the game of football, huh? 65 degrees, a gorgeous afternoon. Lindy Infante says he is surprised considering all the injuries that his Colts are the NFL's only undefeated team. First time since '77, but he'll take it. And, of course, Marv Levy, the dean of NFL head coaches, 71 years old and always playing well against the Colts. Chris Gardocki is set to kick it off for the Indianapolis Colts. And deep awaiting the kick, Eric Moulds and Tim Tyndale. Moulds, the deepest man. He's on the goal line. The Colts, the only unbeaten team left, and they could open up a 2-game lead in the East. Gardocki sends it on its way. And Moulds 2 yards deep. The rookie from Mississippi State. Nice cut up the middle and a pretty good return across the 20 to the 23-yard line. So Todd Collins starting at quarterback for the 2nd game. And here's the way the Bills will line up on the offensive line. Fina, Brown, Hall, Ostrowski, and Parker. Collins, the quarterback, hitting 64% of his passes. Thurman Thomas needs 33 yards for 10,000 in his career. And they begin with a 2 tight end formation. Lonnie Johnson and Tony Klein at the tight ends. High formation in the backfield. Collins to put it up on 1st down. In trouble. Got away and made a pretty nice gain out of it. He's up to the 29-yard line, caught from behind by Bernard Whittington. Colts defense, Johnson, McCoy, Siragusa, and Bennett up front. Of course, Johnson and Bennett have been injured. Both come back, but the injuries continue to hit the linebackers. Alexander starting for Stephen Grant, Morrison for Quentin Coriat. Passing downs, the Colts will go to their nickel and put in Diedrich Mathis. Bounce to the outside, then back inside to the 32-yard line where he's tackled by Elijah Alexander. And it'll bring up third down for the Bills. Welcome to those of you who saw the Seattle Seahawks upset the Miami Dolphins 22-15. Tom Hammond and Bob Trumpy from Buffalo, where the Indianapolis Colts, the only unbeaten team left in the NFL at 4-0, could now open up 2 games on both Buffalo and Miami with a victory here today. Third down pass, Todd Collins spotting Quinn Early for the Buffalo first down. Jeff Harrod in pass coverage for Indianapolis, but Early with a slant in with Jim Kelly injured. Todd Collins at quarterback, and Collins connecting on that third down play for a gain of 10 yards and a Buffalo first down.
This coaching staff, Buffalo, very intelligent. They know Todd Collins doesn't have a great deal of experience, so they give him the short underneath stuff to start with. Build his confidence a little bit. Don't really put him out there on a spot where he can't perform.
Ball at the Buffalo 43-yard line. This is the opening drive of the game. Thurman Thomas bottled up by the Indianapolis defense. Leading tackler Jeff Harrod first to arrive on the scene. Harrod leads them in tackles and has been the #1 tackler 6 of the last 7 years for Indianapolis, including last year when he had 186.
Now, let me tell you, everybody's talking about Jim Harbaugh on the offense, but this Colt defense is one of the best in the league. They lead the league in touchdowns allowed with just 4. And allowing opponents just 73 yards rushing per game, and a big part of it is that middle backer Jeff Harrod.
#1 rushing defense in the NFL, and they've gone 6 quarters now without allowing a touchdown. Todd Collins trying to change that across the middle and on target to his tight end Lonnie Johnson for a Buffalo first down. Elijah Alexander matched up with a tight end in pass coverage, linebacker on tight end. That's when the offense wins every time. It goes for 18.
He's going to release off the line of scrimmage, and you see the linebacker kind of turns him loose. It's Elijah Alexander, and again, now he's a backup linebacker, but Lonnie Johnson, a tight end out of Florida State, didn't do an awful lot of pass catching down there when Charlie Ward took over and went to the K-gun, the run and shoot offense at Florida State, but a big contributor so far this year for the Bills.
First down Buffalo, 38-yard line of Indianapolis.
That's a lateral. Oh, he's got to be very careful. That was very close to a lateral.
Todd Collins throwing behind Quinn Early, and it could almost have been a backward pass. Ray Buchanan was defending.
Now watch when there is a man upfield and he kind of slings it sidearm. It's 62 Tony McCoy, excuse me, Ellis Johnson who gets upfield. That was very close to a lateral.
2nd and 10. Matchup of former Michigan quarterbacks today. Todd Collins of the Bills, Jim Harbaugh, the older of the two, for Indianapolis. Collins on 2nd down the sideline, and incomplete, overshooting his intended receiver Quinn Early, who was well defended by Ray Buchanan.
These are excellent man-on-man coverage corners. Now, every once in a while, you're going to see these corners tested. Buchanan is excellent in coverage. There's no question about that. Eugene Daniel, excellent man-to-man coverage. But 2 weeks ago, Buffalo's choice was 2 tight ends, run the ball at Dallas, establish a firm control of the line of scrimmage, not put a lot of pressure on Todd Collins, now out of the shotgun.
And with 3 wide receivers, Early, Moles, and Reed. 3rd and 10. And the Colts coming with a blitz. Whistles will stop the play. Looks like Buffalo might have moved prematurely. Red Cashin, today's referee.
Before the snap, false start, number 70 on the offense. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Left tackle John Fina guilty of the illegal procedure.
Well, one of the advantages that Buffalo has, as you watch John Fina just come out of his stance, Richard Dent kind of tricked him a little bit, but one of the advantages Buffalo has, is they haven't really seen Todd Collins on tape a lot. They don't know what the kid can or cannot do.
Well, Here he's going to try to convert a 3rd and 15. And has protection, overshoots his intended receiver. In fact, it fell right in between 2 receivers. I think Quinn Early was the man for whom the pass was intended. He was covered by Steve Morrison. So 4th down, Collins moved them down the field a bit, but the drive stalls, and Chris Moore is on to punt for Buffalo.
Chris Moore in punt formation. Marvin Harrison.
Lead man for the Colts is the sensational rookie Marvin Harrison, who returns to Western New York State. Played his college football at Syracuse. Moore's punt hits at about the 7 and is beautifully covered by the Bills. Gabe Northern cradles it at the 1-yard line.
Geez, that's a play you expect out of Steve Tasker, who was hurt and will not play, but beautifully executed by Northern.
That is about as good as it gets. That was sensational special teams play. Moore hit it just right. It bounces on about the 7, and look, blue shirts already behind it to prevent it from reaching the end zone, and no foot on the goal line. Beautifully done.
Yeah, the player's even pulling him out. If he's going to lean towards the end zone, let's pull him out, let him fall in the field of play.
Well, that special teams play is so valuable, and it puts the Colts for their first possession with a ball just inside their own 1-yard line.
Yeah, we're going to find out how healthy Marshall Faulk is here right at the outset.
Faulk missed 2 games. He was injured against the Jets 3 weeks ago. His toe, first time on turf since then, as Bruce Smith comes crashing across.
He did that against Dallas, too. Opening play of the game, he said that Nate Newton pulled him off. I mean, Bruce should be watching, not listening, but historically he has jumped off sides a lot.
Number 78, 5 yards, still first down.
That is a tremendous penalty. Now the Colts have a little breathing room. They can use more of their offense now as they put the ball just shy of the 6.
He's intense. He wants to cheat the snap as best he possibly can, put as much pressure as he can, but you're right, that gives the Colts just a little room.
Bruce Smith not happy about his contract, of course, as you probably know, and taking it out on the opposition so far, having a sensational season. Marshall Faulk. Tough yardage up the middle, only a couple. Chris Spielman, leading tackler for the Bills, makes the stop of Marshall Faulk. Ozine, Wydell, Loudermilk, Malum gets the start there for Leuenberg, and Matthews up front for Indianapolis. Jim Harbaugh, top-rated quarterback in the NFL. Marshall Faulk returns with Crockett, Harrison, Dawkins, and Dilger. Sensational tight end, and Stabline, the 3rd wide receiver, on passing downs. There is an injured player. That's Sam Rogers, Buffalo linebacker. Rogers in his 3rd season from Colorado, former 2nd-round draft choice. And there you see his numbers as they tend to Rogers. We'll remind you that we'll return to college football next weekend on Saturday at Notre Dame, as the Fighting Irish, who had this week off after losing to Ohio State. And what about the Buckeyes? Are they for real?
No crime in losing to Ohio State, it appears.
And a tough battle coming up for the Irish as they face the Washington Huskies. Ron Paulus and the Fighting Irish against the Huskies of Washington. 2 once-beaten top 20 teams matched up next Saturday here on NBC. It starts at 2:30 Eastern Time. And Rogers helped to his feet.
Guy who has contributed a great deal. You know, he plays the opposite linebacker to Bryce Popp, so they tend to run away from Bryce Popp at Rogers, and Rogers has done a good job. Can't tell what the injury is, but you see one up walking around without assistance from a trainer or coaches. You would expect him to be back shortly.
And Gabe Northern is in to replace Sam Rogers. Cliff Gross is on for the Colts in an H-back spot. Faulk and Crockett. And that's Gross in motion. Here is Marshall Faulk. Nothing there. Stood up at the line of scrimmage by Bruce Smith. Front 3 of the Buffalo Bills, very capable. Hanson, Washington, and Smith. And the linebackers, Popp, of course, is the pass rushing specialist. Spielman, the leading tackler. Maddox and Rogers just shaken up, replaced by Northern. Kurt Schultz actually was a game-time scratch, and Emmanuel Martin has started at that free safety spot in place of Schultz. Ten minutes left first quarter here. 3rd and 2. Harbaugh's first pass is complete. Marshall Faulk out of the backfield for an Indianapolis first down, chased down by Mark Maddox. And there is the multi-dimensional aspect of Marshall Faulk. So valuable as a pass receiver as well as a runner. So the Colts have a first down. And we welcome all of you who join us from the Oakland Jets game as the Raiders down the Jets, whose woes continue. Big win for the Raiders. Tom Hammond and Bob Trumpy in Buffalo, where we have a scoreless first quarter. You see the time remaining. Buffalo moved the ball a bit behind Todd Collins, but had to punt. Punt went to the 1-yard line, and Indianapolis trying to work its way out. There's a pass to Zach Crockett out of the backfield, blasted out of bounds at the 15-yard line by Bryce Popp.
Tom, one of the things that you must like about Lindy Infante's offense is that when it's necessary, he can throw the ball consistently to the running backs and tight ends underneath the coverage. That last 3rd down conversion to Marshall Faulk out of the backfield, then to Crockett out of the backfield, he makes the defense defend every inch of the field from sideline to sideline. You can't figure out what he's going to do next.
Cliff Gross has replaced Zach Crockett in the backfield. 2nd and long. Faulk bottled up again. Made it to the line of scrimmage, no more. Give Bruce Smith another big play against the run. Well, Smith jumped offside on the first play from scrimmage. Since then, he hasn't moved. He's been an anchor up there on the line with nobody getting past him.
Yeah, the thing about Bruce Smith has always been his speed off the ball. He'll cheat the line of scrimmage and be offsides, but look, the one guy that has helped this Buffalo run defense more than Bruce Smith is Ted Washington, because you can no longer double team Bruce Smith on the run. You got to worry about that big load in the center. And Ted Washington he consumes 2 blockers on almost every single play.
Harbaugh has 4 wide receivers on the field: Dawkins, Stabline, Harrison, and Bailey. And it's a quarterback draw. Jim Harbaugh will be stopped short of the first down. Caught around the ankles by Marlo Perry. That seemed to be a quarterback draw all the way.
Yes, it did. And what the Colts want to do is keep Marlo Perry, the middle linebacker, as the spy on Jim Harbaugh. He sets up, you're right, it's a quarterback draw. And even though Perry drops back what appears to be in coverage, he is there to make the tackle. And at least he keeps Harbaugh from converting the 3rd down to a first down. So he did his job as the spy on that particular play.
Chris Gardocki ready for his first punt, averaging 46.6, 4th in the NFL. And Russell Copeland awaits the boot. Left-footed Gardocki punt. Copeland backs up, takes it at the 20. Copeland behind the wall. Down the sideline, there's a flag down. And Copeland out of bounds at the Buffalo 48-yard line. We'll check the penalty marker.
There is a flag on the play. There's a 56-yard punt.
56-yard blast by Gardocki, but then a pretty good return for Copeland. But it appears that the penalty will be against Buffalo. A hold against the Bills. So Copeland's 26-yard return is nullified.
You see a nice big picture, number 43 there, Red Cashin.
During the return, holding number 20 by the receivers, 10 yards, first down at 10.
Henry Jones called for the hold.
Red's last year. Red Cashin's last year. Lives in College Station, Texas. He says 25 years of refereeing the NFL is enough. And I said, but Red, look at the weather today. He says, yeah, but the last time I was here in Buffalo, it was 37 below wind chill factor. That's why I'm retiring.
One of the best, Red Cashin. First down for the Bills with 3 wides. Early, Molds and Reed. That's Molds in motion. Play action fake. Collins rolling and hits Molds. And pretty nice plays. He is caught around the ankles by the Morrison, as Moles, the first-round draft choice All-SEC performer from the Bulldogs of Mississippi State.
Great return man. One of Marv Levy's great characteristics is he almost always thinks of special teams first. One of the best return guys he ever saw in college, and that's one of the main reasons he drafted him.
Got about 5 yards on that first down play, and is in motion here. Thurman Thomas dodged one hold in the backfield, falls forward to the 30-yard line. Didn't get much on that gain. Jeff Harrod cracked him up, and Thurman Thomas now needs 27 yards to join the elite, who have gained over 10,000 in their career.
And I think he is the epicenter of this offensive football team, just as Emmitt Smith is for the Dallas Cowboys. As Thurman Thomas goes running the ball, so go the Buffalo Bills. And offensively, they've not done very well first part of this 96 season. He's averaged 2.8 yards a rush. The two are directly related.
Collins scrambles free and hits his man, but short of the first down, it would appear. Let's see the spots. Eric Moles had to go down to the turf to grab it. Eugene Daniel covered him, and it will be short of the first down.
That was ugly. I'm not sure exactly what they were trying to do. As he turns, he trips on the left guard, Reuben Brown. Looks like they're trying to set up a screen to Thurman Thomas out in the flat. And Eric Moles over here makes himself a receiver, not for the first down, but what a mess that was. Let's burn that one, gentlemen.
And so Chris Moore will punt. High towering punt. Harrison calling for a fair catch and makes it at the 29-yard line, where the Colts will start with their second possession of the game. Well, follow the NFL on NBC online at NBC.com/sports. Scoring updates and game summaries all day long, plus in-depth features and our weekly online viewer poll question. The only online site for your football needs, and it's all at NBC.com/sports. You visit that site occasionally?
There is a bunch of information available at www.nbc.com/sports. A bunch of information.
Scoreless first quarter here, just under 5 minutes left, as the Colts have a chance to take a 2-game lead in the AFC East. Buffalo coming hard as the give is to Crockett. Crockett cuts to the outside and makes a nice run, about 8 yards. Ted Washington catches him from behind.
One of the things that you see teams now doing, when you have Marshall Faulk flanked out here, you're going to see blitzing by the opponent. And actually, the Colts do an excellent job here. Crockett gets up inside Pop, but this is well defensed by the Buffalo Bills. Ted Washington out there from the nose tackle at somewhere in the neighborhood of 340. Making a tackle on the sideline. Impressive.
Maybe 340. Maybe 350.
Maybe.
Harrison, the motion man. Crockett carries again, and we'll have close to a first down as he's thrown back by 350-pound Ted Washington, Bruce Smith, and Bryce Pop.
The third quarter is going to be 360.
Depends on how many hot dogs they have in there to have.
This is true. So far, Colts have accomplished one thing. They've stayed out of the long yardage situations. They had one, didn't convert the third down, but third and short, they'll be very happy with.
Crockett just stopped shy. It's third down and less than a yard. They come with the tight ends, Dilger, Banta, and Pollard. Crockett and Faulk in the eye. Now Faulk breaks it and goes in motion. And the sneak by Harbaugh. He didn't get much. He didn't need much, but man, they were ready for that as the front three, Hanson, Washington, Smith, held their ground. On third down and less than a yard, the Colts might not have made it. Let's see.
Jim Harbaugh's walking to the sideline over there. He's presuming that we didn't get enough. That's one in a game where you're on the road against a team that has a great tradition of winning, the Buffalo Bills. You're undefeated. A little play like that early in the game can just set your mind the wrong way. You know, we can't convert 3rd and inches here for a first down. Come on, fellas.
I suspect the Colts have asked for this measurement. There is an art to that quarterback sneak, believe it or not, isn't it? You have to sort of hesitate for a second to let the center and your guards get the block.
That is true.
And it didn't work.
Yeah, the motion, too, by Marshall Faulk didn't fool anybody. Nobody jumped. So let's can that one for the day, Lindy. Next 3rd and short, we need something else.
Gardocki, a good one on his first attempt. And Russell Copeland.
Russell Copeland deep to the Bills. Chris Gardocki will punt for Indianapolis.
Scoreless first quarter with 2:40 and counting. 2 possessions apiece and no points up. Spiraling Gardocki punt. Copeland takes it at, well, he won't take it. Moved up, and the Colts will down it at about the 6 or 7 yard line. Derwin Gray down to kill the ball, and Gardocki's punt has backed up the Buffalo Bills. Well, you could pretty much predict whether the Bills would have a successful season or not in this decade by how they performed in September.
It's absolutely remarkable, too, when you ask Marv Levy about it. He says, one, I don't waste or use up my players in the preseason. I mean, they get killed in the preseason, but they practice hard in training camp. The other thing is, he said, you know, we have a lot of home games in September and October because the weather gets so bad here late in the season. He said those 2 factors, I think, are big contributing factors to our early success.
From their own 8, the Bills with 2 tight ends, and a give to Thurman Thomas, looking for a block. Found a little seam and cut through it. Makes it up for about a yard to the 9, where he's covered by Steve Morrison and Jeff Harrod.
I love this Colt defense. They got 2 great big, please excuse me, butts in the middle in Siragusa and McCoy. They're very hard to move out there. They have very active defensive ends, and today they get Ellis Johnson back, number 62. Good running defensive ends and very, very active linebacker. This is a tough defense to run on.
Yeah, what's not to like about a defense like that? Despite all the injuries, they continue to lead the league against the rush. Thurman Thomas can't break free. Stopped at the 10-yard line. Again, Steve Morrison in the middle of things for the Colts and got some help from Whittington.
How many guys did you see in the backfield there really didn't allow Thurman Thomas a chance to get under steam? One defensive end was there quickly, and anytime you can alter the path, the initial path of that running back, you've accomplished a great deal. This is a stout defense, even though the offense gets all the headlines, and Jim Johnson, the coordinator, took over for Vince Tobin, who went to Phoenix, and it's gotten better, the defense has.
3rd and 8 deep in their own territory. Collins. Safety valve to Thurman Thomas, tries to dance his way forward and is stopped short of the first down.
Well, let me make this comment. That's a big play for Todd Collins, because against Dallas, when he couldn't find that primary receiver, he would run. And he looks downfield, can't find him. He's flushed a little bit. Now he's looking to throw. Finds it, finds Thurman Thomas out here, makes the completion, not for the first down, but now he's looking, when flushed, to throw the football. One, it makes you a lot healthier. 2, you don't end up with negative plays.
Closing seconds of the first quarter, Chris Moore's 3rd punt. Harrison calls for the fair catch, nabs it just shy of midfield. So the best field position yet for the Indianapolis Colts in this scoreless first quarter. Just 26 ticks remaining in the first. So far, the 2 good defenses have dominated, although this is the best field position for Harbaugh and the Colts. Welcome to those of you who saw the Patriots score a big win on the road in AFC East play against the Central Ravens of Baltimore. Tom Hammond and Bob Trumpy here at Buffalo. 0-0, closing seconds, first quarter. Patriots facing a tough stretch of road games, and win at Baltimore. That pass knocked down by Hansen. Phil Hansen deflecting it. It appeared to be going toward Ken Dilger, the tight end, and Ted Washington was putting pressure on Jim Harbaugh also.
Well, Lindy's searching. He's got a lot of offense there. He's searching. So far, Buffalo's given up grudgingly anything. But Harbaugh is saying, I can't hear from the sideline. Lindy's the head coach, the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. It's his offense. So if it doesn't work, it's his fault.
Well, it's worked 4 times in 4 starts this year. Finding it tough going, though. They noted that this was the toughest defense they have faced this season. There's an example why. Marshall Faulk is surrounded with Emmanuel Martin, the first to make contact, and immediately joined by Chris Spielman and some others.
Boy, that is a great job of supporting the run by Emmanuel Martin, a young man who was a free agent, came out of Canada. They've got the corner captured, but all of a sudden you see 21 come in the picture. And he takes Marshall Faulk head on. Chris Spielman along with the assist. Little or no gain.
And that play will bring the first quarter to a close at the end of 1 in Buffalo. The Indianapolis Colts nothing and the Buffalo Bills nothing. Mostly sunny skies, a beautiful day in Orchard Park, New York, where the Colts and the Bills ready to start the second quarter scoreless. What's at stake? Well, Indianapolis atop the division with the only unblemished record in the NFL could open up 2 games on the rest of the pack with a win today. Buffalo can take over sole possession of second place, actually have already with Miami losing, and they could tie Indianapolis with a victory over the Colts today. Harbaugh had to get rid of it. The rush was coming too quick. Spielman blitzing, and Pop there too.
Yeah, Bryce Pop untouched. Absolutely unblocked. Here's a guy who had 17.5 sacks last year, NFL Defensive Player of the Year. See him coming from the top of the screen? I mean, I don't know what happened there, but he had 6 sacks against Indianapolis in 2 games last year. If you don't block him, he's going to get 6 more. I guarantee you.
2 of the best defenses in the league on display here today, and they have dominated so far. Chris Gardocki is on again to punt. This is his 3rd effort of the day, and the Bills have punted 3 times. Gardocki sails it, and it hits the end zone on the fly. So a touchback on that punt by Gardocki. And the Bills will take over at their 20. Still looking for somebody to score. 0-0. The NFL on NBC. Over at its own 20. The Bills have 2 first downs. Indianapolis only 1 so far. As we reinforce the fact that the defenses have dominated so far. Thurman Thomas, 5 carries, 8 yards. The other marquee running back, Marshall Faulk, 4 carries, 5 yards. So not much going on offense. Collins bounced right off. Tight end Tony Klein might have hit his face mask. Eugene Daniel was out there defending him. That was an ugly looking attempted catch by Klein.
I'm not even sure he attempted to catch it. It was thrown a little quick by Collins. Klein just barely gets his head around, and all of a sudden that ball is there. So does he even get his hands up? Well, he almost gets his hands up. But yeah, if they can invent a football that can stick in the face mask, these quarterbacks
throw it hard enough.
Yeah, these quarterback passing percentages will go up.
Collins is 5 of 9, 43 yards. Thurman Thomas, pretty nice run. Thomas spinning his way close to 10 yards and a first down. Steve Morrison twists him to the turf with help from David Tate. Best run of the day for Thurman Thomas, who is closing in on 10,000 yards.
And this is the belly series now that Buffalo runs. They really don't block anybody. They let the defense go where they want to go, and then allow Thurman Thomas to find that little spot, that little crack. He reads helmets. Has gained an awful lot of yards on that belly play behind that Buffalo offensive line.
Needed 33 starting the game to reach 10,000. Has 17, as you saw. Could be a big weekend. His 3rd child was born this past Friday. Here's Thurman again. Anika Lee Thomas was born on Friday, weighed 7 pounds 7 ounces. Wife Patty and Thurman, proud parents now of 3 children, all girls.
All girls. Can you imagine that? All girls. So Thurman's going to retire and go to dance recitals.
Well, he's going to go into the Hall of Fame someday with 10,000 yards, most likely, as well. Mold Colts, Reed and Early, 3 wide receivers here on 2nd and long. Collins retreats and gets Andre Reed crossing the middle, and Reed has another Buffalo first down to the 46-yard line, tripped up there by Jason Belser.
That's just Andre Reed's 16th catch of the season. A little underneath pattern, again taking advantage of soft coverage by the corner. And Reed, always an excellent runner after he catches the ball. When he came out of Kutztown State, he was the only receiver in some strange offense they ran there. And he said, I ran reverses, I ran draws, I played part-time quarterback. Excellent receiver. Another guy who might be destined for the Hall of Fame.
Eric Holmes has replaced Thurman Thomas as the Collins pass to midfield, caught by Eric Moulds, covered by Steve Morrison.
And of course, if you've not seen Buffalo in several weeks, you see them in the huddle. And I was shocked to hear from Marv Levy's mouth that he said, you know, I think we're just about done with the at the line of scrimmage, no huddle offense. It's put so much of a strain on our defense. We've got to be a little more cautious with how long we're on the field.
Flags down. It looked like the Colts jumped offside as Holmes pounds the middle to the 45-yard line. Stacked up by Bernard Whittington. I don't know if it was Ellis Johnson, but someone appeared to move for the Colts.
I think you got him.
Ellis Johnson returning after a scary series of concussions, dizziness, a really frightening thing for Ellis Johnson. Glad that he is back on the field and able to play.
Offsides, number 62 on the defense. 5 yards, still 2nd down.
Yeah, Ellis Johnson even went to a head trauma center in New York, and they did some retraining on him for concentration and for focus. He said for 6 days after the first concussion, he had a pounding headache that absolutely would not go away, and they wouldn't give him any medication. They were scared to death to medicate him.
2nd and short. Holmes finds a crease, advances to the 40 for another Buffalo first down. Elijah Alexander makes the tackle as Buffalo putting together now its best drive of the afternoon.
First, to remind everyone, when they played Dallas up here, they began the game with a 17-play, 78-yard drive. And Buffalo a couple, 3 years ago, they got yards in chunks. And now they get it in little bitty pieces. But as long as they keep the ball, it keeps that defense fresh.
2 tight ends on this first down pass. Collins scrambling and diving to the turf.
Well, he didn't practice his slide in the offense.
Yeah, his slide didn't look good. He would have been out by a mile.
Yeah. But the idea here is, since Jim Kelly is inactive, you got Todd Collins, and then you got Alex Van Pelt. If you slide feet first, they won't hit you. At least you'll be there for the next snap. They can't get him hurt.
Yeah, he'd have been tagged out with that slide. As you see the other scores go by, Green Bay, that traditional rivalry with the Bears, big winner in the shootout we told you about earlier, 46-38. 2nd and 7. Play action fake. Collins again in trouble. Got rid of it. And fans wanted a flag as Collins is knocked on his backside. Quinn Early was the man for whom the pass was intended, covered by Mathis. So 3rd down and long coming up for Todd Collins, who during his days at Michigan was one of the completion leaders all time for the Wolverines. Grew up within walking distance of the stadium in Foxborough, and guys like Tony Eason were his idols growing up as a New England Patriots fan.
His mom and dad are at the game. They couldn't be here last week. They had one of those vacation trips for the leaves changing in Maine, but John and Gert are here today to root on Todd, and Mom brings chocolate chip cookies and cleans his apartment.
Colts show the blitz, and here they come. Hand off to Holmes. Dodged the man in the backfield, and just is tripped up at the 30-yard line.
Boy, that's a perfect call.
Morrison caught him around the ankles, or he'd have had even a bigger gain. As it is, it's enough for a first down.
We're going to have to give credit to the offense. You're going to see everybody coming up here cheating. The big block is here, and he cuts right through there. This is a perfect call for this defense. Some coaches call this defense sticky. They put the offense in a sticky situation, but John Feeney, number 70, takes care of the defensive end. Holmes gets upfield, picks up the first down. Or are they going to measure it? Maybe I spoke too quickly.
Yeah, so did I. So they're going to bring out the chains. Well, this is a battle not only between two AFC East rivals today, as the first down is recorded, but a battle between two former Wolverine quarterbacks. Jim Harbaugh, who preceded Todd Collins in Ann Arbor. A rare matchup.
Yeah, it may never happen again. Elvis Gerbach is playing today, too, for the San Francisco 49ers. So we got Wolverine quarterbacks all over the place, don't we?
Well, Trumpy, I just want you to know that Michigan quarterbacks Benny Friedman and Harry Newman probably met each other. Newman played for the New York Giants, and Benny Friedman played for your favorite team, the Brooklyn Dodgers, 1933 and 34.
Oh, I'm telling you, we got to find more for you to do.
Timeout, Buffalo. We're in the second quarter of a scoreless game.
By Pert Plus shampoo and conditioner. Great hair, no fuss. And by Aetna Retirement Services. Build for retirement, manage for life.
See what warm weather in Buffalo does? Brings them out of the woodwork.
Sequins in Rich Stadium watching the Buffalo Bills. That's illegal.
10th play of the drive for the Bills. Their best of the afternoon. Collins play action fake. Shoots for the end zone. Reed. Touchdown. Of Andre Reed's career. It covers 30 yards as he beat the Colts' best cornerman, Ray Buchanan.
We can't put it all on Buchanan, though. I think we'll show you why, but the safety bit on the play action fake, Buchanan had no help inside.
Extra point by Steve Christie is up and good. Todd Collins with his first touchdown pass. It goes to the veteran Andre Reed. And the Buffalo Bills jump in front of the Indianapolis Colts 7-0. Collins engineering a beautiful Buffalo drive, 80 yards in 10 plays, consumed 5 minutes. And Collins throws his first career touchdown pass to Andre Reed. Here's Steve Christie with the kickoff. Aaron Bailey at the goal line. And Bailey will be smacked down hard at about the 18-yard line by Raymond Jackson.
I got a flag on the play for a little extracurricular activity, but back to the touchdown. You see the counter pull by the guard. You see David Tate show up right there. He's bought the fake. He thinks it's a run. Now, as soon as he sees, oh, Holmes doesn't have the ball, Collins throws it. Look at Tate right here. Doggone it, why did I bite? Because he was the inside support for Buchanan. That's why Reed was wide open for the post and the score.
Penalty against Indianapolis on the return. Derwin Gray called for a hold. Or a personal foul. That'll back the Colts up inside the 10-yard line. So the Indianapolis Colts backed up for this possession, finding themselves trailing in the game for the first time. And a big moment for Todd Collins, the quarterback, second year from Michigan, his first NFL touchdown pass. Harbaugh, quick release and on target. Catch made by Marvin Harrison, and the rookie close to a first down at the 20-yard line, stopped by Emmanuel Martin.
One thing Lindy and Fonnie raves about Marvin Harrison. Good job of just faking. I'm not running a pattern. And he said the only thing wrong with this kid, he's not 6'3", 220. Like everything else about it. He shows up early. He learns the offense. He's an instant contributor. He is a nice kid. He told us yesterday when we talked to him, I had to get 15 tickets, and the only reason I didn't have to get more is that people couldn't get a hold of me on purpose.
Philadelphia native who went to Syracuse. Here's the handoff to Marshall Faulk. And he crosses the 20-yard line for an Indianapolis first down. Hit by Bryce Popp.
This, by the way, is Falk's first time back on.
He's arguing about the spot, too.
First time back on AstroTurf since he sprained his toe. Missed 2 games and has been practicing on grass in Indianapolis. And Lindy and Fonnie said we're going to assume he is 100% until he tells us differently.
We're going to measure. And it will be a first down.
What happened to Red Cashin? First down. That's what he's famous for. What's he doing here? I don't. Come on, Red.
First down. First and 10 after 20.
Well, that's why he's retiring. He's winding down. He's lost his enthusiasm.
No, Red will never lose his enthusiasm.
That was only the second first down recorded by the Colts offense today. Harbaugh can't get away. Sacked at the 15-yard line by Ted Washington. And Phil Hansen got a piece too.
Quick setup by Jim Harbaugh, but excellent pressure right up the middle.
And a flag down against Indianapolis. It's like Bruce Smith is saying they'll decline it.
Holding number 64 on the offense. That penalty is declined. Second down.
Doug Weidel with a hold, declined by Buffalo.
One of the things Buffalo likes to do is move Bruce Smith around. He comes down way inside, but by then the pressure is already on Jim Harbaugh. Active defensive line. Still one of the best in the game is Bruce Smith.
Second and long for the Colts. Harbaugh just had to whip it away. Crockett was closest to it as Phil Hansen was all over Jim Harbaugh.
That's 2 plays in a row. Harbaugh's barely had a chance to even. Here's Hansen up here. Bruce Smith also gets there in a hurry, and you're going to see Jim Harbaugh go back 1, 2, 3, 4. He's not even close to setting up. Actually, he's not outside the tackle either. That
could have been a grounding.
Absolutely.
Although what you couldn't see was Crockett was not that far away from the ball. By chance, probably, but that's the way it worked out.
Now here's the pass rush situation. 3rd and very long now.
Harbaugh's hit 3 of 6 for only 15 yards. Rips it to Falk. And Marshall is stopped at the 20. Tripped up there by Ken Irvin, the dime defensive back for the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo defense continues to dominate Indianapolis.
Actually, Harbaugh does an excellent job of making something out of this play, getting it out to Marshall Falk. Hopefully he can break a tackle, but Ken Irwin does an excellent job of wrapping up Marshall Falk, and Colts must punt again.
Gardaki's been a busy man. This will be his 4th punt in this first half. 7:10 left. Russell Copeland from the 25. Pretty nice open field tackle there, made by Pollard. Marcus Pollard prevented a much greater return of that punt. And the Bills will take over, leading 7-0. The NFL on NBC. Injured Jim Kelly today, and he told us these were his priorities for beating the Colts.
He's done all right so far. Just a hurry and 1 knockdown. No negative plays. And he's got that TD, his first as a professional athlete. So I would say the report card is still out, but starts with a big positive. That touchdown pass to Andre Reed.
And the former baseball pitcher wings another one down the field, and it's caught. A nice reception made by Quinn Early, and then immediately covered by Jason Belzer.
And now everything that Todd Collins does kind of builds a little pyramid of confidence that Jim Schaffner, offensive coaches, have in him. He's got experienced receivers here. Quinn Early from New Orleans, a lot of years. Andre Reed, a lot of years. They can help the kid. And Todd Collins is a kid.
Nice grab by Early for 15 yards. Buffalo first down, up 7. Thurman Thomas breaks through a hole, spinning his way inside the 35 of the Colts. Jason Belzer with another tackle.
The beauty of this Buffalo offense is 2 weeks ago against Dallas, all they ran was a counter. All they're running here is the belly. Excellent job up front by Ostrowski. I mean, all you need is just a little gap for the Terminator, and he can bust through there.
And helped by the veteran Kent Hull at center and Jerry Ostrowski as right guard, he has become the 11th player to amass 10,000 career rushing yards. And just as we praise Ostrowski, he moves prematurely and will cost him 5 yards. But the birth of his third daughter on Friday, and over
start number 60 on the offense, 5 yards, still first down.
And over 10,000 yards today for Thurman Thomas.
Pretty nice company of that list too. Hall of Fame, 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 Hall of Fame. Will be. Otis Anderson, I'm not sure, but that is select company.
Todd Collins appears to be changing the play here. 1st and 15. Short drop, and the ball slapped right back. Or was it slipping out of his hand? Let's see. The Colts say they've recovered a fumble. Let's see if it's ruled a fumble or incomplete pass. It is a fumble, and the Colts have recovered. First turnover of the game.
Frankly, I did not see how that ball came out of his hand.
I really didn't either.
It looked like it was a pump fake.
Recovers the fumble, Tony McCoy.
From behind the offense, he goes with the audible that slipped right out of the back of his hand.
And Tony McCoy recovers for Indianapolis. The Colts take over.
Teammates sponsored by the U.S. Army. Be part of our team.
Audibles. And we run it real slow as he takes the ball up. It comes out of his hand. That is an excellent call by Red Cashin and his crew. No question. It is a fumble recovered by McCoy. Indianapolis ball.
So he gives up one big mistake on his report card. Avoid negative plays. That was one of them. And whistles sound, flags down. Maybe Bruce Smith.
Before the snap, encroachment, number 78 on the defense, 5 yards, still first down.
Indeed, Bruce Smith across for his second offside penalty of the game. So 1st and 5 for Indianapolis. Marv Levy trying to rally his defense, which has been excellent here in the first half, bottling up that multi-dimensional attack of the Colts. 7-0 Buffalo, approaching the 5-minute mark, first half. Ball spotted at the Indianapolis 46-yard line. Marshall Faulk is the motion man, and now out of the pass pattern. Harbaugh fires it, and Faulk makes the catch in Bills territory. Immediately hit by Jeff Burris. No, it's Marvin Harrison and not Faulk. It's 88 and not 28. And Marvin Harrison makes his second catch of the game.
It's pretty remarkable that a kid coming out of Syracuse, they had a reasonably complex offense at Syracuse, but they basically just threw it to him. Marvin, get open. Here, this is a very structured offense. There are an awful lot of option routes for each receiver. As a matter of fact, when Jim Harbaugh takes the ball from center, there really is no primary receiver on any play, so they've all got to be very aware. Harrison's caught on quickly.
Faulk in motion. Harbaugh, quick drop, gets it to Marshall Faulk, and he's hit immediately by the safety Henry Jones.
So far, one of the things that surprised me, no Ken Dilger, the tight end. And they've thrown to the running backs, they've thrown to the wide receivers, but Dilger against the Jets several weeks ago had a huge game, and
the Colts record is for receiving yards for tight ends, and he and Harrison tied for the #1 receiving spot with 15 catches each coming in, and Dilger blanked so far. Dawkins wide to the bottom of the screen with Harrison in the slot. Pitch to Faulk, looks for a block and cuts back inside Bruce Smith. Got about 3 yards. Ted Washington, the big nose tackle of the Bills, collapsing Marshall Faulk, who does appear to have most of his cutting ability back with that toe injury.
In fact, I asked Lindy about his conditioning. He said, well, for 4 weeks he's been on a stationary bicycle, even though he couldn't really hit or do anything. He practiced all week this week. So he's back and healthy, and a huge factor in this offense. They use him so much.
Dawkins, Stabline, Harrison, Bailey, 4 wide receivers in. From the gun. Harbaugh's pass is broken up. Harrison, it was a little high, and Jeff Burris was able to bat it to the turf.
Rare to see Jim Harbaugh throw one this far offline. He makes Harrison stretch. Excellent coverage by Burris, but if this ball is thrown into the chest of Marvin Harrison, I think he can make the catch.
You're right. Burris, as it was, with the ball hanging up there above their heads, got a hand in there to bat it away. The former Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who played cornerback, safety, both safeties, tailback, punt returns, everything else with the Irish. Here's Gardocki again. 4th down punt. Copeland says get away from it. Takes sort of a lateral bounce and then is down to the Colts as it comes back at them right around the 10-yard line, maybe the 11, where the Bills will take over with 2:57 left in the second quarter, and Buffalo leading Indianapolis by a count of 7-0.
20 years ago,
The court hereby sentences you to no less than 1 year.
they received a punishment
You gotta have rules and you gotta have discipline.
far more than they deserved. Now, they've reunited
You read the Count of Monte Cristo lately?
in a pact to avenge the
I
past.
read words like...
Past his bedtime. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. 6-1 after a bye week. They come out tough and ready to play under Marv Levy, one of my favorite coaches, and an inspiration of what he's done after the prostate cancer operation, and still going strong at 71 years of age. Thurman Thomas bangs it out. Steve Morrison gets credit for the Indianapolis tackle. He's had a big first half, has Morrison. And now let's go to Dan Hicks in our NFL on NBC studios for an update. Dan?
Okay, thank you, Tom. Key AFC West battle at Mile High. San Diego and Denver, a couple of 4-1 clubs. Watch Stan Humphries ad-lib here. Get it to his running back, Terrell Fletcher, and watch Harry Swain, the offensive lineman, help him into the end zone. San Diego with a 10-0 lead in the second quarter. Back to you, Tom and Bob in Buffalo.
All right, thank you, Dan. 10-0 in that game. It's 7-zip here with Buffalo holding the advantage, as the Colts just missed on a golden opportunity after recovering a Todd Collins fumble, but unable to do anything with it. And the defense of both sides has been the dominant unit so far, especially for Buffalo. They're going to measure to see if that was enough for a first down. Thurman Thomas on the carry. And it is. Well, 3 Michigan quarterbacks in action today. Harbaugh and Collins here, and Elvis Gerback, who has thrown a touchdown pass for the 49ers today. Maybe that'll help ease the pain of that loss to Northwestern yesterday, blowing a 16-point lead. No, I don't think so.
You had to bring it up, didn't you? He didn't want to talk about it.
Approaching the 2-minute warning. Collins retreats. Screen pass. Thomas with blockers. And somebody just got a hand in there to trip him up when it looked like a big play might be developing. It was Diedrich Mathis and Sammy Burroughs that managed to stop the screen. 2-minute warning in Buffalo, where the Bills lead the Colts by 7. Have to do it again. Jim Harbaugh and his Colts offense bottled up by Buffalo, shutting them out here in the first half. Thurman Thomas has another Buffalo first down. Thomas passed 10,000 rushing yards earlier today, stopped by Jason Belser.
You know, the amazing thing about this offense, Thurman Thomas, this is maybe one of the most basic offenses you'll ever find in the NFL. We've only got about 4 or 5 running plays.
First down, hurry-up offense for the Buffalo Bills. Todd Collins threw a dangerous pass, and it's broken up, intended for Andre Reed, and Ray Buchanan able to get there and bat the ball away. Clock stops with 1:25 left in the second quarter.
Was a baseball pitcher also at Michigan. Very strong arm. Excellent delivery when he can keep it in his hand.
He did whiff on one. Former New England Player of the Year, Prep All-American in Walpole, Massachusetts. Pressure, sack. At the 25-yard line, Richard Dent, the sack specialist. We're seeing two of the best all-time on display today, Richard Dent and his Buffalo counterpart, Bruce Smith.
Yeah, but nobody blocks for Richard Dent. I don't know what's going on in this game, but when you don't block great pass rushers, yeah, they're going to make a sack. Richard Dent makes another one.
First sack by Indianapolis today. Timeout. 1:21 left. 7-0 Bills. They face a 3rd and 17 from their own 25-yard line. Try to hand it on the delay to Derek Holmes, and he gets only back to the line of scrimmage, where Ray Buchanan makes the tackle, and Indy calls a quick timeout. They'll have 1 left and 1:16 to work with a punting situation coming up.
Not sure it helps. Indianapolis has done very little in the first half. They had a couple of great opportunities field position wise, just can't get anybody to do anything consistently on offense. I don't know what it is about the bye week. Some teams coming off a bye week, they play great. Indianapolis certainly had great momentum going into the bye week. You know, they beat Dallas in Dallas, then they beat Miami at home, and then they shut down, and frankly, they don't look like the only undefeated team in the NFL in the first half of this football game.
Trailing 7-0 with 1:16 left in the second quarter. Chris Moore, his 4th punt of the day. Marvin Harrison under it at the 40 and immediately taken down. Again, good special teams punt coverage by the Buffalo Bills. Gabe Northern makes another big play. Well, tonight, the third Rock Alien. If he's called for the offside, it would be the 3rd time in the half.
Unabated to the quarterback, number 78 on the defense. 5 yards, still first down.
So the hat trick for Bruce Smith.
All 3 of these no-brainers. Well, although you do see, it looked like the offensive left tackle, Troy Auzine, moved his hand. And that may have drawn Bruce off a little bit, but as long as the offensive lineman does not have his hand on the ground, he is allowed movement.
Ball at the 42 of Indianapolis. Colts trailing by 7. Closing minutes of the first half. Harbaugh, Bruce Smith all over him, got rid of it somehow, and the catch is made by Bailey. Aaron Bailey chased out of bounds just short of the Buffalo 40-yard line by Marlo Perry. Covered 17 yards, Indy first down.
Bruce Smith almost gets around Troy Auzine. Auzine does a good job. Harbaugh steps up just enough to get the ball off to Bailey. You want a quarterback that has that sense of pressure, and Jim Harbaugh, first and foremost, has that ability. I think that's his greatest trait. Just sense pressure around him.
Again, a quick strike by Harbaugh, this time to the rookie Harrison, and Marvin Harrison tackled just short of the Buffalo 20-yard line by Jeff Burris as the Colts use their final timeout. So suddenly Jim Harbaugh has come to life. That one covered 20 yards. 50 seconds left, and Indy threatening. NBC Studios, joined by Mike Ditka and Chris Collinsworth. Harbaugh scrambling, looking, and throwing it away. Nearly made the stands with that one as Phil Hansen forcing Harbaugh to look one way, the other. Nobody open, throw it away.
But Bill's choice here defensively is the 4-1-6. 4 defensive linemen, 1 linebacker, 6 DBs, and they were playing that prevent, big 20-yard completion, and all of a sudden the defense tightens up a little bit for Buffalo. This, I think, is where Marshall Faulk is most dangerous.
Wade Phillips hopes not. Plenty of time, and Harbaugh's pass intended for Marshall Faulk. I don't know if Marlo Perry nicked it just a little bit to alter its course or not, but it goes incomplete.
Yeah, actually, Marlo Perry had man-to-man coverage on Marshall Faulk, and he grabbed him just ever so slightly. You're going to see Faulk release out of the backfield. It's the old A and B circle. And actually, Perry does a great job getting underneath it. He didn't nick it, but he made Harbaugh throw the ball too far out in front of Marshall Faulk for an incompletion.
Kerry Blanchard, as you saw a moment ago, warming up in case this third down play doesn't work. They've only converted 1 of 6. Harbaugh sacked at the 29. Bryce Paup gets the Buffalo sack. That's his 3rd of the season.
Paup is up here. It's always been difficult for offenses to identify just exactly who this guy is, linebacker or defensive end, but one of the great pass rushers in the history of the league.
47-yard or 46-yard field goal attempt by Blanchard. Hits and drops off. No good. Blanchard had been perfect so far this season, both on point after conversions and field goals. That's his first miss.
Well, on the road against a division opponent, Colts have had several opportunities in this first half to really establish themselves. But here, you know, that happens so often, it's weird. How can that football from 46 yards hit that upright?
If you tried to hit it, it'd take you all day.
Absolutely. I don't know why that happens so often.
So Blanchard's first miscue of the season, and the Colts still being shut out here in the first half. 15 seconds left.
Wait a minute. Todd Collins is taking a timeout here. Why, I wonder?
Wrong personnel on the field. Not enough.
Too many? I'm not sure why he took the timeout. Let's see if anybody shows up there as an extra person. No, they had 11 on the field. Huh.
Marv Levy sending Todd Collins back on the field. What Marv say he was reading these days. He, of course, is a very learned gentleman, and he always intrigues me with his choice of reading matter, reading a book on Winston Churchill.
Yeah, The Unruly Giant is what he's reading now. His best line ever. Chalk doesn't win football games. I like that one.
Collins hits his man. The catch made by Quinn early. And another Buffalo timeout. That's their final one, as the ball is inside the 45 of Indianapolis.
Gee, Steve Christie is walking on the field, too.
Wow.
44 and 17, 61 yards.
They're going to put some time back on the clock, I think. They're going to put 8 seconds up there.
Well, I'll certainly pay close attention to this one. This kid's got a strong enough leg, and there's no wind here in Orchard Park today, which is very unusual.
Yes, how many times have we said sun-baked crowd in Orchard Park, New York?
Well, they've changed their mind here, Tom.
They're going to take Christie back to the sideline, and with 8 seconds left, try to wing it into the end zone, I would guess.
Now, that would have been a pretty healthy kick, even indoors.
Christie has kicked a 59-yarder in his career, but now another mix-up here as Jerry Ostrowski comes off and Lucina comes on.
And they're going to get a penalty here.
Yep, that'll be 5 yards more.
And then Jim Dent jumps off sides. Red, straighten this out.
Delay by the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
Well, the wheels kind of fell off for Marv Levy and company here in the last few seconds.
Yeah, now what happened was Ostrowski reported as an end on the field goal attempt team. He can't go back to an ineligible number. That is, go back and play guard. So now he can go back in because he went off the field for one play.
One penalty. Delay of game penalty. So
yeah, for a 7.
It took a PhD to understand that play, and yeah, naturally Marv was there when it counted.
For a 7-0 first half, been very complicated.
That is the score as the final seconds tick away with no timeouts left. Collins sacked at the 50-yard line by Tony Bennett. Collins was trying to wind up and heave it as far as he could, and he took one wind up too many. Tony Bennett was able to get him down as the defense-dominated first half comes to a close with the Buffalo Bills leading the Indianapolis Colts by a 7-0 count. The Domino's Pizza halftime report coming up after this word from the NFL and messages from your local station. What do you think it says on the other side of that thing?
I know that guy because we get our haircut at the same place.
Well, two good defenses dominating things in that first half, especially Buffalo.
Yeah, I was frankly shocked. I knew Buffalo was a great defense when it came to rushing the passer, but they have shut down the run. They've basically taken away everything that the Colts want to do. Ken Dilger has not had a reception yet. The bulk of what the Indianapolis Colts have gained really came in the prevent situation last 2 minutes, and then they tightened up. This has not been a good performance in the first half by either offense, but particularly for Indianapolis. And look at that on third downs, just 1 of 7 converted. And when you can't convert third downs and keep the drive alive, you can't really build any momentum for your offense. So, Tom, you're right. 2 great defensive performances here. And the big play by Todd Collins to Andre Reed for the touchdown is the difference in the football game.
So just 82 total yards for the multidimensional Indianapolis offense in that first half, even with the return of Marshall Faulk. So Christie tees it up to get the second half underway. And awaiting the kickoff is Aaron Bailey. Line drive kick. Bailey almost misjudged it. Grabbed it about the 9-yard line. Reaches the 29 before he's swamped by the blue-shirted Buffalo Bills special teamers.
20-yard return.
Phil Hansen and Sean Price. First half possessions for Indianapolis. Wow.
Not good, and I think one of the things that the people have watched the Colts over the last couple of years with Lindy and Fonte running the offense is they seldom go 4 or 5 plays and out. I mean, they have long, sustained drives in general, so that's more of a compliment to the Buffalo defense.
So Captain come back, ready to do his thing again, perhaps, and keep the Colts unbeaten if he can. Dilger is the motion man, now setting right side. Running play, handoff to Faulk. Broke free for a moment, then the defense collapsed on him with Ted Washington and Chris Spielman getting him to the turf.
First time I think we've mentioned Chris Spielman's name. Comes over from Detroit. Told me 2 weeks ago he called a Detroit defense in the middle of the game. But he came here because he said these people, all they do is talk winning in Buffalo. They just constantly talk winning.
8 years, over 100 tackles this season with the Detroit Lions. I remember he told us in years past he didn't own a coat and tie, and I understand now he has bought a sport coat. Did he get a tie to go with it?
It's rented.
Zach Crockett. A tough 3 yards. It'll bring up third down for Indianapolis. Tackle made by Phil Hansen and Chris Spielman again.
Now Spielman is building a house in Columbus, not too far from the Ohio State campus. I mean, this guy was born to play football, and when he retires, he's going to coach football. He's going to be buried with a football. He hates coming off the field. No, not a suit. Be buried in that uniform with the cork underneath each eye and hand pads.
Lamont Warren makes his first appearance in the Indianapolis lineup. He's in the slot to the top of the screen. 4 wide receivers set, and Harbaugh has to spend a timeout with the play clock at 2 and his team not even set. A real mix-up in the substitutions there, as Harbaugh had to spend one of his timeouts. They'll still be facing a crucial third down when we return.
D is brought to you by Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile retailers. By the new Coors Light Wide Mouth Can. Tap the Rockies with a smoother pour. By IBM, solutions for a small planet. And by Dean Winter. There are many ways to measure success. We measure it one investor at a time.
Well, earlier we saw a Bob Trumpy fan. There are some Tom Hammond fans.
You're a man to admit it.
plural, I did note. 3rd and 3. Harbaugh had to spend the timeout. Let's see if the sideline conference help. A shovel pass attempted, picked up on the hop by Marshall Faulk, but it will be an incomplete pass. It was the shovel pass, but it was incomplete, just like a forward pass. Bryce Popp got in the middle of things to sort of disrupt the action.
Now watch Bryce Popp. He recognizes what's going on, almost gets his hand up there to knock the ball away. Good idea so far. None of this stuff for Indianapolis has worked.
You're right. So another 3 and out for the Colts. Coaches often say the first possession of the second half is important. If that's so, things are not looking good for the Colts.
And the Colts are now 1 of 8 on 3rd down conversions.
Here's Gardocki. Copeland fields it at the 24. Ooh, hit hard. That was a pretty open field tackle too, wasn't it, by Elijah Alexander. We'll take a timeout. Still 7-0. The NFL on NBC.
This is the NFL on NBC.
No debating. The Bills have bottled up the Colts offense today, and it's captain frustration over there on the sideline at the moment. Bills take over at their own 34-yard line, leading 7-0. First possession of the 3rd quarter for Buffalo. And it goes to Thurman Thomas, who's hit immediately. Dropped in his tracks, 35-yard line. Maybe fell forward for a yard. Tony Saragusa first to arrive on the scene. First half possessions, only one thing of beauty, really, that 80-yard drive in 10 plays, which resulted in the first career touchdown pass for Todd Collins as he sent it to Andre Reed. Eric Moulds replaces Tony Klein, wide receiver for tight end on 2nd and long. Delayed handoff to Thurman Thomas. Breaks free to the 42-yard line. Ellis Johnson wrapped him up. David Tate came up from the safety spot.
With that extra wide receiver in the game by the Buffalo Bills, there was an extra defensive back in the game for the Colts, and the Bills offense took advantage of it. One less guy they had to worry about blocking. They just run the straight belly play. And Thurman, 3rd and short pickup here now.
Thurman leaves the game, actually, as Derek Holmes comes on. It's Holmes and Tyndale in the eye on 3rd and a yard. And the up back Tyndale thrown back by the center of the Indianapolis defense.
I think he lost yards. And Marv Levy is in charge of the short yardage plays for Buffalo, has been for many, many years. And a little list he has in his hand. Well, we've got the offense and the punt team on the field.
And which one stays? The punt team, as the Colts stopped them 3rd down and less than a yard.
Colts defense played very well. They've played to their pre-billing to this point.
New returner on the field for Indianapolis. It's Ray Buchanan back there now instead of Harrison. Low snap. Moore picks it up and sends it toward Buchanan, who calls the fair catch at the 15-yard line. So the defensive trends continue here in Buffalo. We're still 7-0 and in the 3rd. Bend on Saturday. Interesting to see how the Irish will react to having their national championship hopes effectively ended by Ohio State as they face the tough Washington Huskies. Should be a good game Saturday afternoon on NBC. Indianapolis down 7, takes over at its own 14-yard line. Harbaugh, first down pass, chased from the pocket, in hot pursuit, and he throws it away. It was Gabe Northern, number 99, that was bearing down on Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, that was great coverage down the field. Harbaugh looked all over trying to find a receiver. Northern top of the screen. He's looking way left. There's plenty of time there to throw. And then again, he senses that pressure and gets rid of the ball, so he avoids the sack. I don't know how many times in Jim Harbaugh's career he's done that, but
saw Denver getting back in the game there against San Diego as Harbaugh has the second down. Play action fake. Harbaugh's pass too far for Marvin Harrison as he went down with Bruce Smith supplying the pressure, and Bryce popped there too. And now some words, and perhaps more than words.
You don't want to make him mad. Believe me, I am dead serious. He's got another level. You better go easy on him. He will turn it up a notch.
So it's third down and 10. And again, this Buffalo defense, which has been so stout all afternoon, tries to hold Indianapolis down here deep, and the Colts have to take their second timeout. Evidently, the play slow in coming in. Some mix-up. Colts have only one timeout left.
The value drive is on during
Lindy Infante has yet to find something that will work as the Colts look for their first third down and long conversion of the game. They're 0 for 5, third and long. Pressure. Harbaugh has to spin it away.
The defensive line was picked up. The delay blitz by Marlo Perry is the one that really gets him. You're going to see Perry come in here late. Actually, they do a pretty decent job of giving him a pocket. And then there's Perry. Bruce Smith hits him low. Perry hits him right in the chest. And again, he just throws it away. And he did get up and walk off. But they have abused him today, just as they did last year in 2 games.
Chris Gardocki will punt from his own end zone. And Russell Copeland, who limped off the field a bit after his last punt return, appears to be okay and awaits the 7th punt by Gardocki. Sails toward Copeland. Can't field it. It hit him. Loose ball, and I believe Copeland got back on it. Yeah, Buffalo retains possession. That was a live ball after it bounced against Copeland.
That was taking a chance.
And apparently a penalty marker is down.
And he sees this ball hit. Bounces off of him, then it's anybody's ball. I don't have any idea what the flag is. Red's about to tell us. Personal foul, Buffalo.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 20 by the receivers. 15 yards, first down and 10.
Henry Jones, the roughness. I didn't really hear it, Bob, but I'm told in the first half, Red said, first down, Baltimore.
Well, Red's been in the game a long time. He officiated in Baltimore when the Colts were there.
25 years. Buffalo's had 8 penalties called now against them for 55 yards. That one puts them back at their own 18. They're up 7-0. We're in the third quarter, 11 minutes left. Couple of fakes, and Collins whips it to Thurman Thomas. Thomas breaks down the sideline. Buchanan collides with the official and manages to catch up the Buck. Thomas out of bounds at the 8-yard line.
This is an ugly play the way it starts out, but it works. Look, he's got that ball down to his side. He barely gets it off. And that baby came in sideways. There was no point on that ball going to Thurman Thomas. And this is about as far as Thurman can run with any real steam.
Buchanan had the angle even after colliding with an official who got in his path, Buchanan's path. But Thomas takes it for 69 yards, and the big play puts Buffalo in the red zone. First down at the 13. Derek Holmes replacing Thomas. Gets a tough yard, Tony Siragusa. And Jason Belson. Remember, this is the best defense in the NFL against the run.
Yeah, and actually, that last play was all run. That was kind of a shot put by Todd Collins. That Thurman Thomas turned into a big gain.
And you see that one of the poorest percentages of touchdowns in the red zone for Buffalo as Tony McCoy, a little woozy, leaves the field of play.
That's an official's timeout for an injury here. McCoy lobbied and got it. Isn't it amazing? Sometimes big defensive games turn on a play. I mean, that may be the ugliest play for 70 yards I've ever seen in my life.
2nd and 10 for Todd Collins and the Bills.
Well, they're about to take their 3rd timeout. Tony Siragusa, top of the screen right there. Wrong personnel on the field. And Indianapolis is now out of timeouts. 2 on offense, 1 on defense.
Well, today they've been a mere shell of the team that won its first 4 games. The bye week was not kind to the Colts. They appear to be out of sync, but much of the credit should go to the Buffalo defense. But here is they've had a couple of inexcusable either penalties or what would have been a penalty if they hadn't called timeout. And they're out of timeouts with 10-11 left in the 3rd quarter.
Part of that defensively has to do with the injuries and getting the right personnel in the game. But when you're dealing with defensive linemen, one, they don't get on and off the field very quickly. Good.
And of course the upset of the day was the Seahawks winning in Miami. Carolina made a comeback on the Vikings but fell 2 points short. Big win for the Packers. And big win for the Patriots as well. Ready to go here. 2nd and 10 from the 13-yard line. Collins being chased, and he will throw it to the turf, and it'll be an incomplete pass. And now the flag comes down. Red Cashin threw his beanbag to mark the spot first. I think he wanted the flag.
No, I think what he did is he marked in the grass.
Okay.
And then he changed it to intentional grounding.
Okay.
This is a good call. Collins was not outside the tackle. You just can't throw the ball away to avoid the sack unless you're outside the tackle.
Intentional grounding. Number 15 on the offense. Balls are down. 3rd down.
I don't think there's any doubt about this. He drops straight back from the center. Here's the tackle. Let's see where he drops the ball. There's Tony Bennett, gets a hold of him. Well, we moved now. But he's inside the hash mark. I don't think that's a bad call at all.
Well, there's Derek Holmes right there, pretty close to it.
But he's thrown the ball away to avoid the sack.
Okay. It's 3rd and 21. And that's what Buffalo has done on 3rd and long. Blitz comes. And pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. It was Tony Bennett. They got up there to bat it away. And so once again, inside the red zone, Buffalo fails to convert a touchdown. One of the worst in the NFL. They started at the 13 with a 1st down. Now they face a 4th down back at the 24. And Christie will attempt the field goal.
Yeah, so that big long run by Thurman Thomas, that reception, 2nd longest of his career, goes for naught.
Although in this game so far 3 points is big. 42-yard field goal, Steve Christie. And he nails it. So the Buffalo Bills add to their lead, up 10-0 on Indianapolis. Buffalo, as the Bills get a field goal after Thurman Thomas converted the 2nd longest play from scrimmage in his career, 69 yards to set it up. Christie will kick off, and the deep man for the Colts this time is Lamont Warren from the 9-yard line. Warren hit hard and driven back. At the 15-yard line was Sean Moran leading the charge.
Tom, if we go back to that play where the intentional grounders go, watch this spot right here. And the other thing you do is you also watch Red Cashin. See Red Cashin right here? He is looking through the quarterback to protect him. He does not see Holmes' 44 release out there. But again, you see Red look late. He still throws the flag because he believes he's inside the tackle, and he's trying to avoid the rush by throwing the ball away on the line. Not so sure it was the right call, but very close. And his first priority is protect the quarterback.
Spielman on a blitz. They pick it up. Harbaugh has time. Finds Zach Crockett. Crockett with a couple of nifty moves, then loses his footing at the 32-yard line, where he's covered by Henry Jones.
Still, though, you see the Colts trying the little stuff, underneath stuff. Really have not tried to go down the field much at all today. They don't want to put their quarterback in jeopardy any more than they have to. And this is as difficult a game offensively as I've ever seen Lindy Infante and his offense have.
That is a study in frustration. 7 punts and the only missed field goal of the season by Blanchard. Good first down play, though. Netted him 6 yards. It's 2nd and 4. Harbaugh threw that one to no one.
Now again, Jim Harbaugh gets up off the turf here in Orchard Park, where he's been most often after an attempted pass, whether it's completed or incompleted. A 5-man rush. Hanson's going to come clean. Again, you can see that Harbaugh senses what's coming, and he is tasting that AstroTurf, and it doesn't taste good. He's done a great job to just be sacked twice today, Tom.
4 wide receivers set here. We'll see if they come after him again, and they do. And Harrison with a catch. It'll be a Colt first down at the 45-yard line. Jeff Burris rides him to the turf. Harbaugh, quick drop, quick strike. Got there, got rid of the ball before the rush could get there.
Just a little slant run, catches the Buffalo Bills in a blitz. This is a nice move by a young man. I mean, just separates himself from Burris. Thrown beautifully by Harbaugh, and finally a 3rd down converted to a 1st down. Keeps the drive alive. This kid does not play like a rookie.
Nope. Has been an immediate fast-track addition to the Colt offense. 6th first down of the game for the Colts. Play action fake and a 1st down pass. Harbaugh has his tight end Dilger, who somehow holds on despite the shot he took from Emmanuel Martin. Henry Jones was covering him too, but the first catch of the day for the tight end Ken Dilger.
Here he is right there, releasing down the field. That double zone, he runs by Chris Spielman. This is a heck of a catch.
Wow, watch this. He knew it was coming too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he held on.
That's one of the things you have to do against the double zone. You know, you're trying to split the safeties.
So Dilger, the chief threat through the air, he and Harrison for the Colts, finally makes a contribution. Been bottled up all day by the Buffalo defense. Harbaugh finding success finally, throws it behind Harrison, who was covered by Spielman, and the pass was incomplete as Bruce Smith again bore down on Jim Harbaugh.
And it looks like Harbaugh is complaining that the wrong pattern was run, but again, there's that pressure. You see Bruce Smith gets inside Auzine.
Marshall Faulk has been reduced to a pass protector today. He's effectively taken him out of the game. They're keeping him in there to block.
And he's blocking Gabe Northern. It's not a job he wants on a regular basis.
Say not. 2nd down. Harbaugh again throws it away. And Crockett was closest to it, but look there.
Yeah.
Big number 78.
This time they run a little stunt, Tom, up front. Watch the twist that's run by Bruce Smith. He takes 1 step in, gets inside the left guard. You also see Hanson coming on a stunt. Here we go again, up off the turf in Orchard Park.
Well, it's almost like that contract dispute has motivated Bruce Smith. He's taking out his frustrations on the opposition this season.
He's been doing it for years.
Yeah, it's nothing new.
No, it's not.
Dawkins can't hold on. Thomas Smith defending. Dawkins had it in his arms.
That was catchable.
And should have held on, I think. Let's see.
Smith in the coverage. Again, it's just a quick slant. That baby got there in a hurry, but he was not ready to catch it. Didn't have his hands up there. Used them to try to get by Smith a little bit. Couldn't get his hands up quick enough to make the reception.
44-yard field goal attempt by Kerry Blanchard. He missed from 46, his first miss of the season. And the kick is on its way, and it is good. So the Colts get the 3 points back, and the lead once again cut to 7 with 7:16 left in the third quarter.
Man, did they work hard for that.
They did. But the first spark of life from the Indy offense all day.
I mean, they're looking for anything here, any positive from the sideline. We'll take any points whatsoever, and he realizes what a struggle it is. Yes, that's a start.
Well, something to build on. They kept Buffalo out of the end zone and then get 3 back from their offense. And while we await the kickoff, let's go to Dan Hicks in New York.
Okay, Tom, since falling behind 17-0, Denver has looked very sharp, as in Shannon Sharp. John Elway avoids the blitz and finds Shannon Sharp his 3rd touchdown reception of the game, as Denver has reeled off 21 unanswered points to retake the lead over San Diego. Tom, back to you and Bob in Buffalo.
All right, thanks, Dan. 21-17. That's a pretty amazing turnaround for the Broncos, who are playing excellent football.
How about that home field advantage in Mile High Stadium?
Yeah, right.
I mean, there aren't many teams that you would like to play on the road. They're one of the least favorite teams to play on the road.
Lindy Infante and Jim Harbaugh with a summit conference of their own over on the sideline. Only 3 points, but finally something.
The trainer was standing there with Harbaugh right next to him. Ice on his left hand since the second quarter.
Gardaki's kickoff taken by Eric Moles, who's going to bring it out of the end zone. And he picks his way up to the 25-yard line, where he's tackled by several of the special teamers, including Phil Yeboah-Cody, the most recent addition to the Colts roster. Well, hope you'll join us for the American League Championship Series, the Orioles and the Yankees, from the stadium Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Game 1 of the American League Championship Series as the Orioles travel to New York. Game 1 Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, here on NBC. Bills again lead by 7. 2 tight end formation here on first down as they put the ball in play from their own 24-yard line. Fake to Thomas. Collins on target. First down catch made by Quinn Early. Immediately cracked by Ray Buchanan, but holds on for a first down play that covered 16 yards.
Good play action fake, holds the linebacker. See Harrod, 54, step up. That creates the nice little spot there for Early to run that precise square end route for a first down. Collins gaining confidence, now setting up like a veteran, throwing the ball into a lot of traffic, making the completion.
And Quinn Early, a valuable addition to the receiving corps, really talked into coming to Buffalo by Jim Kelly.
Over lunch.
Saragusa jumped, but was not in the neutral zone as Collins to Thurman Thomas puts on a move but can't get away from Eugene Daniel, the veteran corner of the Colts. And John Fina apparently is the injured Buffalo Bill player.
And their left tackle, they just paid a boatload of money to a year or so ago. One of those guys that he just keeps getting better and better and better.
At that crucial left tackle spot.
Well, I see trainers smiling, so it looks like it's okay. That's Tony Bennett is on John Fina. Let's see what happens here. Jumps up. Whoa, my goodness. I would be on the turf too.
And Fina has a smile of his own.
Well, thank God.
He's replaced by Corey Lucci, third-year veteran from South Carolina at 6'8", 305. There's Lucci. See the other scores, including that Denver-San Diego comeback by the Broncos. Thurman Thomas. Stopped by Tony McCoy. Tony McCoy has been tough against the run as always.
Yeah, those two defensive tackles they have there in Indianapolis, McCoy and Siragusa, low centers of gravity. Very, very difficult to block one-on-one. Siragusa leaves the field for a little more pass rush. Or someone else, Richard Dent, comes in, but they are tough to move inside.
John Fina's okay, back out on the field at his customary left tackle spot on 3rd and 6. Collins looks right, looks left, scrambles, finally flips it incomplete. Dangerous pass. Eric Mold's closest to it, but a lot of white shirts around there too, including Eugene Daniel, and Richard Dent makes Collins pay as he puts the pass rush on from the Colt defense.
And I watch Richard Dent, the veteran. He starts up the field and realizes, wait a minute, this might be a screen. So he kind of hooks on to Thurman Thomas, takes away that receiver, and then Thurman makes an effort to block him, and then Dent goes after it. That's a good feel for what you have to do as a defensive end.
Veteran player Richard Dent, as Chris Moore boots it more or less straight up in the air. Harrison back to the punt returning duties, calls a fair catch, and makes it at the 19-yard line.
38-yard punt, no return.
Experience the NFL all week long on NFL.com, the official website of the National Football League. For all the tackles and touchdowns and a live game day scoreboard, click on NFL.com.
Well, if I'm Jim Harbaugh, I don't know what Lindy's going to call next. No formation has worked. No motion has worked. They've had nothing bread and butter that they've been able to go to today.
Few quick slants on that last field goal drive, and that's been about it. He's hit 11 of 25. Came into the game hitting 70% of his passes. That's Marshall Faulk. Screen pass, nothing doing. Wow. Gabe Northern
man
did a Bronco as Phil Hansen put the pressure on Jim Harbaugh. They tried to set up the screen, and it was like the rodeo out there.
I'm telling you, it's like Buffalo is in the huddle of the Indianapolis Colts. Look at it. And this is Northern, a backup linebacker. He is there almost to make the reception. They have been all over this offense.
7-yard loss. Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator of the Bills, calling the right numbers today.
Blitz.
Flag down, and the play blown dead. It would have been a pretty good gainer to Sean Dawkins, but a flag came down to stop the play.
Before the snap, false start. Number 75 on the offense. 5 yards, still second down.
Troy Ozine is called for the false start. Nullifies a pretty good pass completion to Dawkins.
Yeah, well, he's got Bruce Smith.
Yep.
I'm surprised he hadn't had more false starts today. But look,
Bruce has been by him before he could start.
Yeah. Completion penalty.
So now the ball is all the way back to the Indianapolis 7. Bruce Smith licking his chops here. It's second down and 22. Harbaugh has time. Harrison's drawing double coverage, and somehow he caught it, but was he in bounds? Whoa, what a catch by Harrison.
Well, they waited a long time to signal catch.
I mean, they were all over him. He was up against the sideline and two Buffalo defenders. Somehow Harbaugh dropped it in there, and Harrison held on. What's this? That could have been interference, too.
There's the first foot, second foot down. He's got control.
Wow.
And the two officials on the sideline looked at each other for about 4 or 5 seconds, and finally one said, good catch. Great call.
Tip of the hat to that rookie, Marvin Harrison. That was a spectacular catch with Martin and Irvin all over him.
And, you know, he was thoroughly covered. Harbaugh still threw it.
Colts get some breathing room. Blitz comes. Harbaugh evades for the moment. Looking and throwing. Dilger, another great Colt catch. Dilger goes downstairs to get that one with Emmanuel Martin. Martin must be getting frustrated by now as Harbaugh was banged over on the sideline. That's twice the Colts have made sparkling receptions when he had pretty good coverage.
Well, we're starting to get into the captain comeback area. Watch the two pass rushers run into each other. They knock each other down, and then Dilger makes himself a receiver. Hansen barely puts his hands on him.
That could have been a penalty call, I'm telling you.
They could have called him. He was in the white.
Here comes the blitz again.
Oh, he's open.
Harbaugh has Lamont Warren wide open, and the pass overshot him again. Harbaugh winds up on his backside with Gabe Northern applying the pressure.
Man, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they only got 11 out there. At times it looks like Buffalo's got 14 guys on the field.
Bruce Smith was out of the game that time. Sean Price was in. Now Bruce returns.
I mean, it looks like Buffalo's got 3 in coverage and 11 rushing to pass it.
Second down and 10. The ball at the Buffalo 31. That's the score. As the Colts have finally got something to work offensively the last 2 possessions. Pick up the rush and throw it into the hands and out of the hands of Ted Washington.
And look at Harbaugh again. Getting up off the turf. Wade Phillips and his bunch defensively. Maddox with this time number 55 right in his face. He's picked up by Warren. And 98's there. There's Maddox. Ooh, that's as much as he's gotten up off the turf in a long time after every pass attempt.
Phillips has put the pressure on him all day, and Harbaugh will be black and blue tomorrow. He won't care if he can pull it out. It's 3rd and 10. Caught Bailey inside the 15-yard line. Aaron Bailey with a slant in front of Jeff Burris, and Harbaugh rifles it in.
This time they took no chances with it. Harbaugh swinging his fist. Watch this move by Bailey. Jumps inside Burris. We saw Harrison jump inside Burris on the slant. Completion, 18 yards on the pickup. First down. This has been a drive of huge effort by the Indianapolis Colts. Great individual plays.
Best defense inside the 20, allowing only 16% touchdowns, the Buffalo Bills. Harrison is in motion. Rare running play to Marshall Faulk. Can he turn the corner? Great move. He's to the 9-yard line. Henry Jones drags him down. Boy, Faulk put on a little juke step there and gained another 3 or 4 yards. That's Henry Jones that's shaken up. Boy, it's amazing. You keep the Indianapolis offense bottled up all game long, and suddenly they come to life. Lindy Infante spent the better part of 3 quarters looking for the combination and finally found it.
And the combination was an absolutely magnificent effort by Marvin Harrison. By all rights, he should not catch that pass.
Exactly right.
And you remember when Harbaugh told us earlier this year, he said the thing that Lindy Infante has taught me is to throw to a guy who was covered. Taught me how to throw to a guy who was covered. That's exactly what he did to Harrison, and it ignites the offense.
Meanwhile, we'll check the injury to Henry Jones, number 20. Spinning Faulk down and then
can't tell from that.
Rolling over with some sort of injury.
Still on the turf.
Still 21-17. The Chargers and the Broncos. Denver leading 21-17 after the Elway pass to Sharp. New Orleans and Jacksonville tied at 10 after the Saints had a 10-0 lead. They're looking for their first win. And Elvis Gerbach, the other Michigan quarterback in action today, has thrown 3 touchdown passes for the 49ers, who lead St. Louis 28-3. While they tend to Henry Jones, we'll take a break from Buffalo. The lead is 7. Last season went over 100 tackles for the first time in his career, despite missing 3 games with a knee injury. And while they bring the card out and put Jones on it, we'll check those other scores, including the Seattle surprise of the Dolphins, which has enabled Indianapolis with a win to open up 2 games on Miami and Buffalo, or Buffalo could move into a tie for first. Minnesota holding on to beat Carolina. Green Bay all over Chicago today. New England facing a crucial stretch of games on the road, and they passed the first test with a 46-38 shootout against the Ravens in Baltimore. Jets still winless, nothing going right for them. Mike White perhaps saving his job in that instance. Detroit squeaking out the win over Atlanta, 28-24. Bear passing for 100 yards, 180 yards, did that say, for the Falcons. And now the game's in progress. 21-17 Denver over San Diego. Elvis Gerbach with 3 touchdown passes in that game. And Jacksonville coming from 10 down to tie the game at 10 there in the 4th quarter at the Superdome. And that brings you up to date on all the scores as Henry Jones.
Well, they put an air cast on his leg.
Cast.
Yeah, that's always a bad sign.
In his 5th year as a starter, the former All-Big Ten cornerback with the Illini from University High School in St. Louis in his prep days. '26 player taken in the '91 draft, Henry Jones.
Tom, close your eyes here. Watch what happens when this leg gets hit by Bill Hansen. No, actually, it's Bryce Pop. Watch that left leg. That's the one that the cast is on. We'll see what happens. They have X-ray machines here underneath Rich Stadium. Hope for the best for Henry Jones.
He is replaced by Matt Stevens, a rookie from Appalachian State, 3rd-round draft choice this year. As Harbaugh has hit 4 of 6 for 72 yards on this drive. The 9th play coming up.
Jones at tight end is the strong safety, so maybe you look for the tight end here, Dilger.
And Matt Stevens, the rookie, has come on in the secondary for the Bills. 2nd down play. Harbaugh, play action fake. Chase finds a man wide open. Dilger, the tight end, you called it, Bob, close to the 1st down. Tripped up by Emmanuel Martin as they do go to their pass-catching tight end, Ken Dilger.
Took him forever to get over there. There's a lot of traffic. He's trying to go right down the line, runs into a couple of guys. A little angle drop by Jim Harbaugh, but still, this is a great job by Buffalo to get over there and make the tackle. Emmanuel Martin, did he make the 1st down?
It's going to be very close, and they may have to call out the chains. The ball is at about the 4-yard line, between the 3 and 4. And the Colts, with 1:01 left in the 3rd quarter, trailing by 7, have put together back-to-back their best drives of the game. First one resulted in a field goal. This one's still in progress, looking for a 1st and goal if the chains stretch just right. It's going to be short, and not by much. You may remember earlier in the game they tried a quarterback sneak on 3rd down and about that far, maybe a little more than that, but were stuffed.
And you see how long Lindy's looking for the right play here. He is deep into that playlist. And the clock has not started yet. The 25-second clock won't until the chains get off the field.
Well, they do have 2 tight ends out there, Dilger and Pollard. As Harbaugh hustles back on the field, play clock has not yet begun.
Didn't know.
Now it does.
This right here means raise the roof. So get up and get on.
So it's 3rd down and about a foot. Crockett and Falk in the I formation, fullback and tailback respectively. Marshall Falk thrown back, but his forward progress, I think, will get him the 1st down. Mark Maddox led the defensive charge. Chris Spielman got a piece, so did Ted Washington, and we may have to call the chains again. We will. Well, a crucial measurement coming up here. It always amazes me. I don't know how they can be precise enough, but
yeah, they hold that ball like it's a Fabergé egg in this situation. You're absolutely right. It's a guess.
And first down, Indianapolis. First and goal. Needing a touchdown and an extra point to tie the game.
But with the way the Colts have run the ball today, Tom, this is a tough spot for them.
No done deal, is it?
Nope.
From the 3-yard line, first and goal, Indianapolis. Clock shows just 20 seconds left on the 10th play of the drive. 20 seconds left in the third. Tight formation. Resetting one of his tight ends, Marcus Pollard. Pitch. Falk. Stop short.
What a play.
Great pursuit, Thomas Smith.
What a play by Thomas Smith. I mean, he's got Troy Auzine at 3:15 out in front of him. He fights him off and makes the tackle. Outstanding stop.
That's the end of the third quarter. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. It's been Jim Harbaugh's quarter in the last couple of years, and the fourth quarter about to unfold here in Buffalo. It begins with the ball just inside the Bill 1-yard line. Second and goal, Indianapolis, down by 7 as you see the score by quarters. 3 tight ends, Dildra, Banta, and Pollard. Marshall Faulk is the tailback. Here's the handoff to Faulk, and he has the touchdown. Well, the Colts have been not very productive on the ground for most of the game. Here they give it to Marshall Faulk, and behind good blocking up front, he takes it in for the touchdown, and the Colts only an extra point away from tying the score. They were an exercise in frustration through 2.5 quarters of this game, but midway in the third, they got a field goal and now come back with a drive for a touchdown.
Anyway, there's some great individual plays in that drive, too.
Blanchard for the extra point to tie. And he got it through. Gardocki with a pretty good hold on that extra point. Here's the touchdown, Marshall Faulk, and the game is tied.
Official hardware store of the NFL, and by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you, fresh beer tastes better.
Tom Hammond, Bob Trumpy in the battle for the lead in the AFC East, as the Colts have just traveled 81 yards in 11 plays to tie the game. Gardocki's kickoff. Eric Moulds from the 3. Dodging, darting, a flag down. Moulds makes it to about the 29-yard line, where McElroy makes the tackle.
Tom, watch this touchdown. Great job by the 2 tight ends blocking, lead block by the fullback, and a pull by the guard. I mean, that is excellent work by Wydell, 64, the 2 tight ends, and Crockett, the fullback, to get the ball in the end zone. And Jim Harbaugh, yeah, he'll celebrate for what little they've accomplished to this point. To be tied in this game is astonishing.
On that 81-yard drive, Harbaugh passed for 72 of the yards on 4 of 6.
94 by the receivers. Half the distance to the goal. First down at 10.
Mark Pike with an illegal block in the back will set Buffalo back further in its own territory.
Now, somehow Buffalo must get the momentum back in the second half.
I believe he's trying his best, lobbying the case with the officials, but falling on deaf ears. The ball spotted between the 6 and 7. And no question, the momentum has shifted. Collins has had a productive afternoon, his first NFL touchdown pass and 221 yards overall. Play action fake and a first down pass. Collins down the sideline, way overshooting Quinn Early, his intended receiver. And Collins goes down in the end zone on his backside.
Kind of a surprising play with the situation. Fourth quarter, 10-10. Colts have just driven the ball 81 yards for a score, and that's kind of a home run throw right there.
Derek Holmes in, replacing Thurman Thomas on this 2nd and 10 play.
Bills need a long, sustained drive here.
Thomas looks like he's injured. That right arm is hanging down. If you missed it earlier, Thomas today went over the 10,000-yard mark in career rushing yards, and his loss would be monumental here in the fourth quarter. Derek Holmes pounds his way to the 10-yard line. Meanwhile, Henry Jones, the Bills safety, taken off the field on the last Colt drive, has a fractured leg. And Thurman Thomas will await word on him.
You can certainly tell he is an important player on the team. He gets 2 trainers. Not 1, 2.
Third down, 5 to go. Todd Collins stands in the pocket, whips it right into the hands of David Tate, and somehow he cannot hold on.
Tommy was looking at the receiver. He was expecting to make the tackle. Poorly thrown ball by Todd Collins. If David Tate looks up at all, he's going to make the interception, but it looks to me like Tate is paying attention to the tight end. Yes, Lonnie Johnson. He just looks up too late, and that thing eats his face mask and bounces away.
Face masks are taking a beating today. Chris Moore to punt from his own end zone. And Marvin Harrison awaits the punt around midfield. Harrison at his own 45. Turns the corner for a moment. Special teams coverage has been pretty good all day long for Buffalo. Marlo Perry does the job there. But what about the status of Thurman Thomas? We'll be back. 100 all-purpose yards today. The word from the bench is he has a stinger. And while painful, not serious, we expect to see him back. Meanwhile, the Buffalo offense has been totally bottled up. Only 2 first downs in the second half. Indy ball, first down, 47-yard line. What was that?
Tight end screen.
It didn't look very pretty.
Didn't work.
Indianapolis has finally found the combination in the second half, while Buffalo has been bottled up. Complete the turnaround in fortunes of the 2 teams. Zach Crockett, an injured Colt.
Games of this magnitude against 2 great teams, it turns on such a little thing, and that I reflect back to that huge catch by Marvin Harrison that really ignited Indianapolis.
We'll take a timeout. You're watching the NFL on NBC. ALCS starting here on NBC Tuesday night. Took in a Rangers-Yankees game last week, Wednesday night at the stadium. Never seen Yankee Stadium look much better. Hope you'll join us for baseball starting Tuesday. Jim Harbaugh chased by Bruce Smith. Short hops his intended receiver Marvin Harrison.
Well, Smith has been in and around Jim Harbaugh all day long. This time it's a double team. He breaks the double team between Wydell and Auzine and can accelerate on the quarterback. Goodness.
It's almost like a predator sensing his prey. He gets a sniff, and boy, he explodes. Turnaround and third down conversions in the second half. That was the other way in the first. 3rd and 10. Harbaugh sacked. Bryce Paup, second of the game.
I'm going to be curious to see if they put a big head on him. That is an offensive lineman. He's up here. Yeah, he's got a big head on him. It's 67 Jason Matthews just shoves him away and puts Harbaugh on the turf.
Paup, the Iowa farm boy, with his 2nd sack of the game, 3rd overall for the Buffalo Bills. And Chris Gardocki in punt formation. New punt returner here for Buffalo. Fresh legs, Jeff Burris.
They still got their defense on the field, not their punt return team.
Gardocki. Burris says stay away from it. Colts are going to have great coverage. They'll pin the Bills back down at about the 2-yard line. Jason Belcher did the coverage. Backed up. To play. Leadership in the AFC East on the line. 10-10 game. Todd Collins must start from his own 2-yard line here. And they've gotten 103 yards in the second half, but 69 of that on that Thurman Thomas catch and run.
So they've done very little is what you're trying to tell me.
That's it.
I agree.
Thurman Thomas shaken up on the last series, back on the field. Slant pass, Andre Reed got only 2 yards, maybe 3, as the Colts were ready for that. Jeff Herrod in the middle of things, as he should be, the middle linebacker of the Colts defense. 28-17 now. McCaffrey, John Elway's thrown 4 touchdown passes in that game. Second down play, Thurman Thomas. Boy, somehow he kept driving and will end up about a yard short of the first down. Elijah Alexander at the bottom of the stack, but it looked like they had him stopped for a gain of a yard. Kept pounding, and had a nice gain out of it.
He actually turned sideways. He was doing the karaoke up to the,
the
first down.
no.
The karaoke up to the first down marker.
It's close enough that they're going to measure to see if Thurman picked up the first down.
This may be an NFL record for measurements in an NFL game, you know.
Well, it is the night of the debates. We're not going to be quick about anything here. We're going to give it full airing before we decide. Just short. It'll be third down, and Thomas out of the game as Derek Holmes comes in. Tim Tyndale also enters the contest.
Head coach Lindy and Funny are not even paying attention to this third down conversion. He's thinking of the next offensive series.
Well, he thought long and hard about 2.5 quarters until he finally hit on the combination. Meanwhile, Buffalo looking to convert for a change. 3 tight ends, Johnson, Klein, Coons. Split backs, Tyndale and Holmes. Quick handoff. Wow. Head over heels, Tim Tyndale hit by David Tate, the strong safety who came up in a hurry.
I think we're going to have another measurement.
Yeah, he flipped over that one. Let's see if he had enough. And it will be, Bob, another measurement. You are right. I don't know how you precisely spot it, but
you don't.
You just take their word for it, huh? That's going to be just short.
Ooh, this is a tough choice.
And it's fourth down.
He's got to punt the ball away.
Too much time left. There's 11:42 remaining.
Yeah.
And he's too deep in his own territory. He's only at the 11.
I agree. And the other thing that works in Marv's favor, Indianapolis out of timeouts. Right. At some point in this second half, tie game 10-10, it's going to work against him. He does not want to give them any chance here on the plus side of the field.
So Chris Moore from his own end zone and Marvin Harrison getting ready to field it. It should be great field position for the Colts in this tie game. Flag down and play blown dead.
Before the snap, false start. Number 46 on the offense. 5 yards, still fourth down.
Marlon Kerner with a false start. Now Moore is going to be close to the back edge of that end zone. There's Moore, Kerner who had the penalty.
He's the coverage guy. That's hard to do. False start on a coverage guy? Come on.
And Moore not really at the back edge, but getting there. No pressure on Moore as he gets it away. High moving kick. Wow, what a punt. Harrison backs up to the 33-yard line. And not much room to go anywhere. Makes it to the 38. Tim Tyndale downfield coverage for the Bills. And a penalty marker on the play. That was a 60-yard punt by Moore, but ineligible downfield for Buffalo. Man, what a crucial penalty after that 60-yard punt.
Sure, make him kick it again.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Marvin Harrison being helped from the field, the big play man of the Colts. There he is.
You know, a couple more penalties, and Moore's going to be out here in the parking lot kicking it.
Well, he'll be out there with a roast pig.
Ineligible man downfield. Number 51 of the offense. 5 yards, half the distance to the goal, 4th down.
Penalty called on David White. Moore's got to do it all over again. So here comes the punt by Chris Moore again as the ball now sits just across the 3-yard line, and he is back at the end of the end zone. Steps out of there. It's a safety now. Brian Stabline is receiving the punt after Harrison was shaken up. He backpedals, but takes it at the 44 and shoots right up the field. A nice return to the 39-yard line where he's hit by Marlon Kerner. So Brian Stabline with a nice return straight up the middle after the punt had covered 53 yards. Welcome to those of you just joining us. 11:04 left in this game. Indianapolis and Buffalo fighting for the top spot in the AFC East. Colts, the only unbeaten team left in the NFL, to take a 2-game lead on Buffalo and Miami with a victory today. If Buffalo wins, they'll move into a tie for the top spot. Buffalo's defense dominating the game in the first half. Midway in the 3rd quarter, Indy came alive, and now they have the ball in great field position starting at the Buffalo 39-yard line. Marshall Faulk bursting free and just tripped up. Jeff Burris saved a touchdown that time as Faulk exploded and nearly broke it.
For the most part, Colts have struggled all game long. Then in the 3rd quarter, suddenly they get things going. Faulk has been more of a receiver today than a runner, but again, that great acceleration, his sprained toe certainly looks healthy to me.
Hit on that play. He got 8 yards. Could have been worse. Here he is again. A little counter play will get Indianapolis a 1st down at the 28-yard line of Buffalo. Phil Hansen, the tackle.
Well, you know, last time we did Indianapolis, we talked to Jim Harbaugh. He said, look, these guys believe. They believe in me. They believe in each other. They were down 10-0 in this football game and going nowhere and doing nothing. And then suddenly a couple of great individual efforts, one by Marvin Harrison, one by Jim Harbaugh. Tie score. This is Captain Comeback's neighborhood.
Marshall Faulk, the workhorse, 3rd straight carry, got only a yard that time before he's thrown back by Ted Washington.
No gain. 2nd and 10.
Lindy and Bonnie, the head coach of the Colts, searched all day for something they can do on a regular basis. They've not gotten the ball to the tight end much, thrown a great deal of the running backs out of the backfield, struggled from the first snap to this point, but somehow tied the score.
A couple of big plays igniting them. Jim Harbaugh to Marvin Harrison, the rookie, who made a tremendous catch, and then Ken Dilger made a diving stab. Draw play, handoff to Crockett. Zach Crockett is to the 23-yard line, hit by Mark Maddox.
Now that's excuse me, go ahead, Tom.
And Ted Washington.
That's one thing that will slow the pass rush of the Buffalo Bills down. They have harassed Jim Harbaugh unmercifully today. And draws and screens do a great job of slowing down the pass rush. That time, a good call went right by the defensive line with that draw play.
Third and 7. 4 wide receivers. 3rd and long has been a tough time for Indy. Harbaugh stands in the pocket, shoots it for the end zone and over through Marvin Harrison, who had broken behind Burris and Martin.
Earlier in the game, we'd seen a couple of slants that were completed for 1st downs. And I think Harbaugh and Marvin Harrison made that play up between the two of them. They tried for the slant and go, and Lindy's not happy.
So A field goal attempt by Kerry Blanchard, who 1 of 2 today. He made his first 7 this season before he missed in this game. This is a 41-yard attempt. And Blanchard has given the Colts their first lead of the game. After missing earlier, Blanchard once again finds the range and has hit his last 2 in a row. And Captain Comeback has his team in front again.
This is remarkable. This is absolutely remarkable. 7-0 at halftime. The Colts couldn't do anything in the first half. And Marv Levy has watched the momentum that his team had offensively and defensively. There's Wade Phillips standing right in front of him. Just absolutely go right to the Indianapolis Colts side of the ball.
Welcome to those of you who saw New Orleans hold on to beat Jacksonville 17-13 after squandering a 10-point lead, holding on for their first win. Tom Hammond and Bob Trumpy at Buffalo, where the Indianapolis Colts, trying to stay unbeaten, had just taken the lead. Kerry Blanchard hitting this field goal to put them in front for the first time today. At one point, Indianapolis trailed 10-0. But they finally found their offense midway through the third quarter, while their defense has played well the whole game. So Chris Gardocki will kick it off with 8:25 left in the game. There's Eric Moles, the rookie. Moles a yard deep. Moles diving forward to the 30-yard line where the Bills will take over. Todd Collins put the Bills up 7-0 with his first career touchdown pass. The Colts were 1 of 7 on third down conversions in the first half. Not tearing them up, but better, 3 of 8 in the second. And an 81-yard touchdown drive by Indianapolis really got them untracked. Penalty on that kickoff return against Buffalo.
That's very unlike the Buffalo Bills. Bruce DeHaven very tough on his special teams players. They don't normally get a lot of penalties on special teams.
Unnecessary roughness, number 99 on the receivers, 15 yards, first down and 10.
Gabe Northern, who has been a special teams and defensive terror all game, played a really good game, but whistled there. So that will set the ball back at the 16-yard line. And once again, the Bills are deep in their own territory for second-year quarterback Todd Collins. 11 penalties against Buffalo. Herman Thomas put the moves on, but couldn't get away. Eugene Daniel had a piece of the tackle. Jeff Farad was there.
Tom, they ran the counter, and I think you can see why we have not seen Buffalo feature the counter today. There's great speed in the linebackers and defensive backs of Indianapolis. They were all out there to make the tackle.
Darkness falling here in Buffalo. 7:40 left in the game. Thomas hit in the backfield and dropped by Tony Bennett.
Man, there has been tremendous effort on both sides of the football. Here's Tony Bennett, comes around. You're not supposed to be able to catch the belly. Lonnie Johnson, the tight end, tries to block Tony Bennett. You're not supposed to be able to catch that belly play from the outside. Unbelievable effort by both of these football teams in this game.
Two excellent defenses showing their stuff today. And in the second half, Buffalo is over on third down conversions. It's Collins, short drop. Pass is no good. Partially tipped at the line of scrimmage and intended for Quinn Early. Early was closely defended by Diedrich Mathis, but I believe the ball was deflected slightly at the line of scrimmage.
You're going to see an awful lot of pressure here coming on Collins and try to get as many people in their space as they can. Ellis Johnson, I think, 62, is the guy who gets his hand up and just deflects the ball ever so slightly to result in the incompletion.
Marvin Harrison is back in punt receiving formation as Moore got it away. High punt. Harrison nowhere to go. Grabbed around the ankles and taken down by Tim Tyndale. Here's a reminder that following the game on most of these stations, it's Dateline Sunday, then 2 all-new must-see comedies, Third Rock from the Sun, followed by Boston Common. Viewers on the West Coast will see these shows at their regularly scheduled times. That's NBC tonight.
You got to take a little inventory here. The Colts wasted 3 timeouts in the third quarter, so they've got to be very careful with their substitutions. They got to really pay attention to what's going on here, leading 13-10 now. This is a tough spot for any team, especially without timeouts.
Marshall Faulk. Couple of tough yards. Chris Spielman gets credit for the tackle. Phil Hansen.
I get the feeling, watching the Colts and Lindy Infante, his defense is playing so spectacularly. Don't make the mistake here. Don't give Buffalo the good field position. We're trying to make a first down, but we don't mind punting because our defense has been so spectacular on this particular day.
Cliff Gross is the only setback here. And he gets the handoff, and Gross dragging Chris Spielman with him. Will be stopped a couple of yards short of the first down.
Spielman makes the tackle. So it's 3rd and 2.
Welcome to those of you who saw John Elway do his thing, leading the Broncos in a come-from-behind win over San Diego. Tom Hammond and Bob Trumpy in Buffalo. We're fighting for the AFC Eastern Division lead. Indianapolis trying to remain the only unbeaten team in the NFL. They once trailed by 10. They lead by 3 with 5.5 minutes remaining. Marshall Faulk to midfield and then wrestled back by Gabe Northern. He needed to get to midfield for the first down. Let's see the forward progress spot of the football.
Oh, it's going to be very close. Yeah, the Colts were very slow to the line of scrimmage there.
It is a first down and a big one for Indy. He didn't even measure. I thought for sure they'd call out the change.
Absolutely. From the way that the marker is on the 50-yard line on the near side, I'm shocked that they so quickly said that was a first down.
Now under 5 minutes. Will Captain come back, strike again, and keep the Colts unbeaten? They were treading water for the first 2.5 quarters. Handoff. And a first down run by Cliff Gross nets nothing. Bruce Smith has been a bear in the middle of that Buffalo defense today.
2nd and 11 at the 49.
And to those of you that have just joined us, here's another game summary. Todd Collins starting for the injured Jim Kelly. First career touchdown pass. Third down conversion turnaround by Indianapolis, who had a long touchdown drive that seemed to finally get them going. Both defenses have played well all day. Harbaugh. Long down the sideline for Dawkins, but too long and incomplete. He was covered by Burris and Martin.
Yeah, if it's not going to be caught, make sure that it's on the sideline. Take one shot. Again, he's got a great defense. Lindy Infante has a great defense, playing very well. They pretty much bottled up Buffalo offensively for most of the second half. He's got a young quarterback that his defense has taken good advantage of. Take no chances here. A punt is a very good play here if they can't convert.
8 completions in each half, but double the yardage in the second almost. Harbaugh scrambling on 3rd down, up for grabs, and out of bounds. He looked like he was going to throw it up where anybody would have it, but had the presence of mind to put it over the boundary where no one could. Bryce Paup was the one that flushed Harbaugh.
And the Bills fans are screaming and yelling because there was an intentional grounding call on Todd Collins and something very similar. But Pop, at top of the screen, breaks away. And you can see when Harbaugh throws it, even Bryce Pop is lobbying for intentional grounding. Wouldn't make any difference.
Right.
4th down, punt the ball away.
Chris Gardaki's 9th punt of the game. Jeff Burris will field it for Buffalo. Gardaki just got it off. Burris fair catch call. And made at the 8. So again, Buffalo has a long way to go back at their own 8-yard line, and the clock showing 3:38. They're down by 3 points. Don't forget, following the game, most of these stations, Dateline Sunday, Jay Leno is profiled. They follow Jay around for a 24-hour period. That'll be interesting on Dateline Sunday. And then Third Rock from the Sun and Boston Common to all new must-see comedies. Viewers on the West Coast see these shows at their regularly scheduled time. NBC tonight.
Once again, Tom, horrible field position for the Buffalo Bills and their young quarterback,
whose production has fallen off dramatically in the second half. From his end zone, Collins across the middle and incomplete. Quinn Early, the intended receiver, but a couple of white shirts in striking distance there too, including the veteran Eugene Daniel, joined by Jason Belser.
Todd Collins now, just his 2nd start. First time he's really been in a pressure situation as a professional quarterback. There's no substitute for experience, a guy like Jim Kelly. This kid hasn't played poorly, but this is new ground for him.
Collins dumps it across the middle, dropped by Thurman Thomas. Penalty flag on the play.
Thurman Thomas incomplete. There's a flag on the play.
It's going to be against Buffalo. Red Cashin has had a workout today, calling them on the guys in blue.
I think that's their 12th penalty if it's accepted.
Holding number 79 on the offense. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Reuben Brown nabbed for holding. Colts refuse, bringing up a 3rd down.
Has this stadium got quiet or what? And that's the story of the second half. 0 for 6 on 3rd down conversions.
Colts could go up 2 games on Buffalo and Miami in the East with a victory. Collins steps up.
No. He's got to throw it.
Can't get away from Steve Morrison.
He's got to throw it. 3rd down and long. You're never going to pick up that yardage running the ball, but that's the price you pay when you've got just a 2nd-year quarterback replacing an experienced quarterback like Jim Kelly.
And Bob, what about the Indianapolis linebackers? They just seem to get them out of nowhere because Alexander and Morrison replacing Grant and Coriat today, and seemingly no drop-off.
Yeah.
Game to game they keep doing this.
They seem to play better when everybody's hurt.
Moore to Harrison. From the 45, a fair catch.
Fair catch.
2:47. Buffalo needs a stop to get the ball back here.
Game's not over, but when you look at this Indianapolis football team, they beat the Jets on the road. They come from 21-3 down to beat Dallas. They beat Miami last week. They're playing Buffalo here this week. This is one of the most difficult stadiums to win in professional football.
In fact, one in which they haven't won often since Marv Levy has been coaching Buffalo.
Yeah, I think it's only been twice in about the last 12 or 15 years. Look at that. What a turnaround. And these guys do believe.
Yep. And so do I. There can't be many doubters anymore that Indianapolis is for real. Marshall Faulk bounced off a man in the backfield and rips off 11 yards on the play. Jeff Burris forced to make the tackle after that big gain by Marshall Faulk, who was hit in the backfield.
Just straight ahead blocking here by the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, they're moving him off the ball. Good block by Auzine. And Marshall Faulk then doubles up, both hands on the football. The Bills have taken a timeout here. But I'm telling you, the Indianapolis Colts stole momentum from the Buffalo Bills and are about to steal this game. from the Buffalo Bills. Marv knows it. They just turned it loose to Indianapolis.
Jim Harbaugh, captain comeback, bloodied, but still out there doing his thing as we review this day in the NFL. This is the only game remaining at the moment.
You won't hear this stadium this quiet very often, huh?
Marshall Faulk returning to action today after missing 2 games to injury. Gets 2 yards on that first down carry before he's tripped up by Ted Washington. And Buffalo takes timeout. So Buffalo down to its final timeout. Clock will also stop, of course, at the 2-minute warning. Shows at their regularly scheduled time.
This is one of the best football games I've seen in a long time. You know that in the NFL? Captain comeback is going to be talked to Jim Harbaugh, but the Colt defense gets the game ball as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. In fact, both defenses, the dominant units today. Marshall Faulk
inbounds, did
manages to keep the clock rolling until Buffalo. Did they call timeout?
Well, no, but I do think that he was marked as being out of bounds, and you don't want to do that. You want to timeout Buffalo. Okay, thank you.
So that is the 3rd timeout by the Buffalo Bills. They're out of timeouts. They'll get a free one at the 2-minute warning. 2:19 left.
You know, we know Marv pretty well. He appears to be in shock with the way his defense was just absolutely just tearing up the Colt offense. Jim Harbaugh had no time to throw whatsoever. None. Suddenly it just slipped away.
Was there a fatigue factor at all for Buffalo?
No, I don't think that was the case. I really don't. I mean, there was a period of time in the second quarter where Harbaugh did not have the time on any play to set up a throw. I harken back again to that catch that Marvin Harrison made on a throw that Harbaugh should not have attempted, that was completed. And then a big scramble by Harbaugh, completion to Dilger, and bam, Colts are in the game.
Todd Collins hoping for another chance. The defense has got to get the ball back. This is 3rd and 6. Fake the handoff. Harbaugh slides down at midfield. Playing it safe. Covered by Gabe Northern.
Yeah, they were trying to run a little rollout with the fake handoff, but Gabe Northern was right there. It was just going to be an underneath throw. Here's Northern right up here. He doesn't buy anything. And see, it's going to go to Marshall Faulk, 28, coming out of the backfield. And Harbaugh does the smart thing. Hang on to the football. We don't mind punting the ball away.
A little frustration there for Jim Harbaugh, who was a study in frustration early in the game. Clock will stop, and even 2 minutes remaining. Back for the conclusion in Buffalo. Marv Levy wishing he had Jim Kelly out there ready to go into action, but it'll be second-year quarterback Todd Collins from Buffalo gets the ball after this Chris Gardocki punt. Jeff Burris awaiting the kick. High but short. Takes a Buffalo bounce and then sails out of bounds. It's all on Todd Collins, who's had a horrible field position throughout most of the second half. And it would be a different story were that man able to play, Jim Kelly.
Yeah, I don't know that you can put the problem here on Todd Collins' shoulder. He has not made the big plays, but he's also not made the big mistake. He did have one fumble, the lone turnover for Buffalo all day long. But this Buffalo offense, with the exception of maybe one play to Thurman Thomas, been controlled by the Indianapolis Colts defense.
Buffalo starts from its own 23. No timeouts. Trailing by 3 points. Todd Collins, first down pass. Thurman Thomas. Collins to Thomas. With a short gain, about 5 yards. Run out of bounds by Damon Watts.
Now this situation, Colts will give up the outside, and that's where the Buffalo Bills want to go. They want all receptions to head to the sideline to stop the clock with no timeouts. 3-man rush by the Colts.
Collins. Little touch pass to Thurman Thomas again. He has the Buffalo first down to the 37-yard line. Stopped by Steve Morrison. Just for the record, Steve Christie's longest field goal this season has been 45 yards. Collins again to Thomas. Managed to get out of bounds, but lost on the play. Eugene Daniel came up in a hurry.
Actually, losing yards means nothing. If you can stop the clock, you've accomplished something. You got another play. Again, this is uncharted territory now for Todd Collins. Young man out of Michigan, just his second year, just his second start.
Operating without any timeouts and 1:19 left. From the gun. No pressure to speak of. Willis flush from the pocket and does throw it. And Lonnie Johnson fights his way out of bounds.
That's another thing a young quarterback must learn. In these situations, there's 1:10 left. You cannot take a chance being sacked. You've got to get the ball out of your hand. We don't care about an incomplete pass here.
Looking for their first third down conversion in the second half. Collins got rid of it and completed it. First down, Buffalo. Quinn Early into Colt territory to the 43-yard line, where he's tracked down by Belzer and Tate inside the final minute. That covered 20 yards. Collins downs it to stop the clock at 49 seconds.
Tom, did he ever stand in there on that last completion? There were people all over him, and he just refused to move. He stayed in the pocket. He's looking. He's looking. He bumps into Hull. Somebody hits his legs. He stays looking downfield, finds Early, and that is a huge play by both. You don't expect that from a young quarterback. That was beautiful execution.
The Bills 12 or 15 yards away from a field goal attempt. Collins, man open. Catch made to the 20-yard line. Eric Moulds, the rookie, has him in field goal range. First down, Buchanan the tackle.
All right, take your time here. Take your time. Make sure everybody's set before you stop the clock. Well done. Well done.
30 seconds remaining.
Well, do you try another play in the end zone, or you get Christie on the field? Nice inside move by Moulds. It looks like the linebacker is supposed to be up there to help on the inside coverage, but he gets right inside Buchanan. That may be, I think that's his first catch of the day. Eric Moulds, the rookie, and how big is that one?
Christie. But Collins wants the win for the end zone. Nobody home. Eugene Daniel closest to it in the white uniform. Andre Reed, the intended receiver, stops the clock at 24. It's third down.
Well, frankly, Tom, this is the way this game should end. As much as I hate to say it, I'm not sure who I'd like to see win this football game. Both have played so brilliantly. Each deserves a win. I don't think it's going to happen, but
third down for the end zone again. Collins has hit 21 of 38. If this one is no good, they'll bring out the field goal unit. Put pressure on Collins, and he just wings it away into row one. Tony Bennett bearing down on Collins, making sure he didn't have a chance to get a good look. So Steve Christie will come out to attempt a tying field goal with 20 seconds left. About a 37-yard attempt. Christie puts it up, and it's good.
sustained drive of the second half to tie the score. That's the one thing about this Buffalo Bills football team. All the winning they've done is tattooed in these guys, in the core of these Buffalo Bills. They're not going to go down easy.
Steve Christie with a tying field goal. Marv Levy watching from the sideline. So Todd Collins, doing his impersonation of Captain Comeback, takes the Buffalo Bills down the field to tie the game. "58 yards on that drive with a 37-yard field goal to tie, and just 15 ticks left in regulation."
Well, nobody's left. They're all still here.
Lamont Warren is awaiting the kick. Here's the Christie boot. Squibs it. Big hop for Warren. Ridden down short of the 35-yard line by David White. 10 seconds on the clock.
It was David White who made the tackle. Indianapolis first and 10 at the
I don't think you take a chance with 10 seconds left here for your Indianapolis. You take the coin flip and let's go to overtime. The Colts are used to these close games. Last year, it seemed like every game they played, and 12 of the 16 were decided by 7 points or less. They were always in a close game.
Even when they win, it's close. Looks like they're going to just take a knee here and head to overtime. Well, a dramatic comeback by first the Colts and then the Bills to tie Buffalo.
Oh, that's impressive. Buffalo 10-3.
First overtime period for either team this season.
We'll toss the coin for the option. We have a 3-minute intermission. Each team has 2 timeouts in the overtime. As the visitor, which one's going to call it? Please call it in the air.
Tony Saragusa.
Tails is called.
Calls tails.
Tails it is. Your choice. With the ball.
On this side, bro.
Over here.
So the Colts will get the ball first in overtime when we return.
Dateline Sunday. He's been through the late
13, a classic defensive struggle with clutch plays made on both sides in the closing minutes. '92 season in Indianapolis. The only overtime meeting between these two, won by the Colts on an OT field goal.
It was 13-13 now. That could be the final score again.
Could very well be. Steve Christie's kick. Aaron Bailey, the deep man for the Colts, will down it in the end zone.
Christie's kickoff down in the end zone.
And here is the man that has earned the name Captain Comeback. We did that game at the Jets that started the whole thing.
Yep. I think people have forgotten it. Last season, he was resigned to the fact that he was going to be a backup quarterback to Craig Erickson. Probably not going to play a great deal. Well, if you're Buffalo, do you go back to the blitz? Do you go back and try to harass Harbaugh as best you can?
Marshall Faulk can't get outside. No gain. Wrapped up by Matt Stevens and Jeff Burris, up quickly on run support.
Yeah, he's complaining that someone grabbed his face mask, and I agree with him. Looked to me like it was Bryce Pop when he went through the line of scrimmage. See if you can see somebody. No, it's 23, the safety who grabs a hold of it's Matt Stevens who grabs a hold of the face mask.
And there is an injured Colt at the 20-yard line. Lewinberg. Second and 10. At the 15 by Bruce Smith.
They pressured Jim Harbaugh all day. This time they bring 5. Smith is very late, goes back inside. Harbaugh can't find anybody to throw to and runs right into Bruce Smith.
Ball at the 16-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 14. Harbaugh scrambling, throwing, and the catch made by Dawkins for a first down. Sean Dawkins, just 2 yards beyond the marker, makes the catch and then sachets out of bounds.
My goodness, how did Jim Harbaugh see him? Now, the difficulty is, watch, he's looking right at the Colt bench. Now, watch, you're going to see all the white helmets, jerseys, everybody else. Somehow he finds Sean Dawkins, realizes he's a live receiver, makes the completion for the first down.
16 yards. Clutch toss by Harbaugh. Harbaugh steps up. Short hops Dawkins, that time incomplete. Dawkins defended by Thomas Smith.
But flushed again. And there have been very few times when Jim Harbaugh, all day long, very few times when he's been able to back out, away from the center, set up, and throw the ball properly. There's been that much pressure on Jim Harbaugh.
All last season, they sacked Harbaugh 7 times, and the Bills have gotten him 5 times today. Lindy Infante finally broke his offense free here in the second half. Dropped by Cliff Gross just as well. The defense was there, and Bryce Popp once again was in the face of Jim Harbaugh.
You know, the intensity of this game has not dropped any since it started. These two teams have played at this level all day long. Those of you who've missed all of this game, you've missed a dandy. We apologize.
3rd and long for Indy, 3 of 14 conversions.
One thing we haven't seen is Jim Harbaugh in a scramble for a first down here.
He needs 10, though. From the gun. Flushed from the pocket by Bruce Smith. And he throws it away.
Here's Smith up here. He gets around Troy Auzine. He never stops the pass rush, keeps going, and then for a guy with 265 pounds on those feet, he closes on Jim Harbaugh, flushes him enough. Look at that, the hurries, the knockdowns, the sacks. He's going to be in the training room tomorrow, win or lose.
So will Chris Gardocki for treatment of his punting leg. This is his 11th punt. A good one. Jeff Burris backpedals to the 16. And to the 35-yard line where the Bills will take over for their first possession of overtime as some words are exchanged. Don't forget, time permitting, Dateline Sunday. 3rd Rock from the Sun, Boston Common in coverage of the presidential debate. coming up after the game, time permitting, here on NBC.
The one thing the Colts have not done to Todd Collins is really sack him today. They put pressure on him. They've flushed him slightly, but what they've done best is cover receivers down the field. They have great difficulty finding people open.
Put it up 39 times today. We're in overtime, tied at 13. Collins, screen pass to Thurman Thomas. He's got a blocker in front. Thomas cuts it back into Colt territory to the 48-yard line. Gain of 17 and a Buffalo first down. And Thomas, who today passed the 10,000-yard mark, is fired up.
Well set up by the offensive line. Beautiful blocks out front. Ken Hall 67. Ostrowski gets nobody number 60. But Thurman's got that. He's got his game in that overtime gear. Give me the ball. Give me the ball any way you can get it to me.
48-yard line of the Colts. First down, Buffalo. Thurman Thomas hit at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for a yard with Tony McCoy down at the bottom of the stack, cutting his feet out from under him.
Marvin's really chewing on that gun. Yeah. I think you get 2 nails right now, bite through him.
Running under fire is young Todd Collins. 2nd and 9 here. Lonnie Johnson tried to turn upfield before he made the catch. It goes incomplete. It'll be 3rd and long.
There have been several drop passes by Buffalo receivers today. And again, that just might be the difference between a live, young, very strong arm in Todd Collins and kind of a tired, old arm of Jim Kelly. And don't tell him I said that.
Jim, that was Bob Trumpy that called you old and tired.
No, the arm. The arm.
Oh, the arm. Got to convert this 3rd and long. Colts come with a blitz. Collins. Oh, almost a diving reception made by Quinn Early.
Tom, I agree with you. Almost a diving reception, but I think if Collins throws that thing where Early can catch it, it's intercepted. Because the safety, you're going to watch the safety 29, Jason Belser. If this ball is up, well, maybe he can't get to it. He almost makes the catch. He almost makes the catch.
So Chris Moore will punt for the 11th time as well, as each team has a possession in overtime and gives the football up. Harrison will let it alone. It'll go out of bounds. They'll set up the angle. And let's see where they'll spot it. Moore's lobbying. And the ball will be down at about the 14-yard line of Indianapolis.
Out of bounds at the 14.
Well, Indy came into this game 4-0, the last unbeaten team in the NFL and leading the AFC East. Miami upset by Seattle today. New England wins, so they're 3-2. Buffalo will either be 3-2 as well and 2 games behind the Colts, or each will be 4-1 atop the division. And the Colts given up for dead for the first 2.5 quarters. Had a 3-point lead only to see Buffalo tie it in the final seconds of regulation. Draw play, but nothing there. Gross bouncing off would-be tacklers made it back for a yard gain. Bruce Smith and Phil Hansen. And you hear the woo woo for Bruce Smith.
Been doing that for years. I like Bruce Smith here, even though he seems to have a contract squabble with the Buffalo Bills. I think he'll be well taken care of when it comes his turn to drive the pickup or maybe dump truck to the bank. He'll get his share. Drive coming.
Harbaugh down at the 12.
Again, no chance to even set up.
Bruce Smith again is there, and Gabe Northern. This is what we saw for the first half of this game.
Gabe Northern is there first. Bruce Smith falls on top. I'm telling you, I don't know how many ice bags you can put on one body, but I think Jim Harbaugh is going to test the record next week.
A half dozen sacks, just one shy of the number of times Harbaugh went down all last season. From his own end zone, Harbaugh wings it down the field for Harrison. Bounced off the Bill defender, Emmanuel Martin, and falls incomplete.
I didn't see Marvin Harrison put his hands up to catch the ball. It bounced off the defensive back's helmet. He gets by Burris. You've got corners up and safeties playing way deep. See if he reaches. There's the safety. This is perfect timing. Wow, how about that for timing?
So Gardocki, this will make it an even dozen punts as Harrison limps over. Jeff Burris takes it at the 47-yard line. Brings it back into Colt territory to their 47 before McElroy makes the tackle.
Well, now field position certainly favors the Buffalo Bills. They can do an awful lot of, I think they can take a bigger chance here with the football, at the 48-yard line of Indianapolis. And I think in overtime, that's what coaches try for. You know, you get the good field position, then you can give it a couple of real shots.
As we review the scores for you, Buffalo Bills looking to keep that record perfect. And they have good field position to start this drive. Overtime game. Collins, first down pass, no good. Wide of his intended target, Andre Reed.
Collins didn't set up properly there. He was a little too anxious to throw the football. When it comes to the simplest of patterns, and that was just a hitch pattern run by Andre Reed, that's when as a quarterback you have to remind yourself of the fundamentals.
Collins has hit 22 of 43 for 298 yards today. Eric Holmes has replaced Thurman Thomas. Draw play handoff to Holmes. Squirms out to the 45 to the 44-yard line. Tripped up by Tony Siragusa. 5-yard gain on the play. It'll be third.
This is pretty much the way the game has gone. I mean, both offenses have just struggled. Nothing has really worked. It's taken a couple of just huge individual efforts on the part of players on both teams to produce this 13-13 tie.
Todd Collins with a short drop and the pass caught for a Buffalo first down by Andre Reed. Good coverage by Eugene Daniel, but the veteran Reed, who has a touchdown grab in the game, latched onto it for 10 yards.
He runs the slant, takes the inside shoulder of the corner. Daniel, perfectly thrown by Collins, right on time. I'm not sure the defensive back could have ever broken that play up. And see, the ball's at the 33 plus 16, 49. Got it at a 49-yard attempt right now. You agree?
That's right. They'll try to get it a little closer for Steve Christie. They've got a first down.
Reverse?
Yes. Moulds. Eric Moulds cuts back. And after all that, got a yard. Tony Bennett got him on the cutback.
Odd call.
Was an odd call.
Yeah.
Steve Christie, number 2. Awaiting his chance. Holmes Found a hole. Holmes dives and is out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Forced out by Jason Belser. First down, Buffalo.
Tom, the only time the counter has worked all day long for Buffalo, and it works to perfection. When in doubt, do what you do best and have done for years. Ostrowski 60 with a great block. Now watch the stretch by Holmes. Gets the ball up there past the marker. First down, Buffalo. Now you can sit on it.
In field goal range now. It would be a 39-yard attempt if they don't gain a yard, and it's first down. Holmes. And a lost a yard. Steve Morrison made the play for Indianapolis.
This is when no one speaks to the kicker. It's like he's a foreigner. You've never seen him before. You'll never see him again. He's an alien. He just lands on the planet for this particular moment. They don't speak his language. He doesn't speak the orders. If he makes it, he's your best friend. If he misses it, you'll never speak to him again.
Bills with this drive taking advantage of good starting field position. Holmes gets the call again. Another minimal gain to the 20-yard line. Tony Bennett with a hand in there to trip him up. And Christie continues to pace like a wild caged animal over on the sideline in this overtime game.
He's probably from the fourth rock from the sun.
From that other planet. He'd like to go to another planet if he misses this one. Missed field goals are a sore subject with Buffalo fans in big games.
Norwood's name still comes up.
Holmes again. Lost a yard. So Steve Christie will come out to attempt the winning field goal.
Well, you got one timeout in overtime till you try to ice him. From Canada. He's used to the cold weather.
Ice.
Yes.
2 today, and for the season, he is 9 of 10. This will be a 40-yard effort to win the game in overtime. And there is the ice job applied by the Colts.
I'll see if anybody talks to him. No, see, he goes off by himself. Yeah. I don't know what goes through their mind. Well, they try to focus. They try to remove the distractions. They try to...
Some of them go so far as even to put cotton in their ears.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because of the length of the game, Dateline NBC will not be seen tonight on the East Coast. It will be seen in its entirety in the Mountain and Pacific time zones. So coming up next on some of these stations, Third Rock from the Sun and Boston Common. Don't forget coverage of the first presidential debate scheduled for tonight, too. But due to the length of the game, Dateline will not be seen in the Eastern and Central time zones. Christie continues to pace. The game on the line, and with it, a first-place tie in the AFC East. Longest of his career, 59. This one, 40. Ethan Albright is the snapper. Chris Moore, the punter, will hold.
I see Richard Dent in there for the Colts.
Already once this season he has done it. And it has become something of a regularity for Christie.
There's Richard Dent. This is a heck of a timeout here.
Long one. Got their money's worth on this one, and now they're ready. Moore to hold. Christie to win it 40 yards away. Dead center.
That's one of the best struggles I've seen to win a football game.